About 2:15, and that should be fantastic to be able to do that. A live stream, thanks to Dartfish and their organisation that they've got, who video the footy each and every week. So I hope you enjoy that coverage if you can't make it, wherever you're listening around the place. And if you've got people that are in other parts of Australia that may want to do it, either share the Radio Mama Facebook or our Radio Mama address with them, or go to that GNFL posting that's up there with the posting for how to watch and listen to today's game. Share that with them so they can join in and enjoy a great game of footy this afternoon from Wonthalla Oval. And as in the Resis, Railways are going to 8-6 now, Northampton 2-7, and so lots of things happening right there. Don't forget, as we talked about, next weekend the Astro Fest is on out at Mount Magnet, and then the following weekend, the long weekend, it's the Meekatharra Festival. And the Meeka Festival is on, and there's races out there as well. There's a whole lot of activities, and we'll be out there doing our thing. And the 2nd of October, the Yalgoo Festival and races are on, so it should all be great with the emu races and all those sorts of things that happen, and so that's going to be at the Oval. So lots of things happening in and around the place, and today you can chance to get your photo taken with the AFL Cup as well. So get out and about, join in, do what you have to do, but have a look this afternoon if you can. Either here, listen to it on the radio as you're driving around, or jump onto the GNFL Facebook page, and you can GNFL, and once you're on there you can click a link, and that'll take you to the YouTube page. That'll tell you that the event's coming up soon, and it's on the part of filming footy and the Dartfish. So it's on from 2:30 this afternoon, and have a good time. But right now, if you like it hot, here's Robert Palmer. Some like it hot. You're listening to Radio Mama. It's 5 minutes after 1, and hopefully soon we'll be able to grab Harry Taylor. Have a quick chat to him.
If you want me, come and get me. You won't have a chance if you don't move now. I'm not waiting any longer. You know that I'm playing to win this time. Hey! When you make your move, I won't hesitate. If you take too long, you could be too late. This time I'm playing to win. If you want me, come and see me. You'll wait around for another chance. Make it mind up, make it play. You should be playing to win this time. When you make your move, I won't hesitate. If you take too long, you could be too late. This time I'm playing to win. All those wasted years on my own, I was only emotional away. And I got what I wanted from me, but I couldn't see it was not what I needed. I was a fool, yeah. This time I'm playing to win. Yeah, 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 yeah. This time I'm playing to win. If you want me, come and get me. You won't have a chance if you don't move now. 'Cause I'm not winning alone. I'm playing to win this time. When you make your move, I won't hesitate. If it takes too long, it could be too late. This time I'm playing to win. When you make your move, I won't hesitate. If you take too long, you could be too late. This time I'm playing to win. This time I'm playing to win. This time I'm playing to win. You know I made up my mind.
Yeah, O'Shea, the Wolf Brothers. And playing to win. Of course, that's what they're all doing out here today. As a few of the old blokes are limping off the ground, a bit worse for wear, as the third quarter of the Resi's Grand Final today, 18 minutes, 19 minutes in. That's three-quarter time in the Resi's Grand Final, 9-9, 63 to Railways and 3-8, 26 to 3-8-26 to Northampton, and yeah, lots happening, and it's great to see so many people here today. The teams for the League Grand Final are making their way out onto the Oval, and there's a whole lot of activity and lots of things happening. So we'll see. We'll have some songs. Hopefully we can fit an interview in very soon, and some of these songs that we have now. Joe Cocker, hey? Yeah, he's always been able to pump out a good song to get you inspired. And don't forget, if you're listening at home and you want to watch it, you can listen to the radio call on the stream. So our radio call will be on the live vision stream, and you can go to the GNFL, Great Northern Football League Facebook page and get the links to be able to do that. Or you can just sit at home and get that mental picture as Glenn Barnes and Peter Frenza paint the image of what's happening at the game and on the ground for what's going on. So all a great day here, and we're hopeful we can catch up with Harry Taylor shortly to get on and just have a yarn about today. Also a little bit about what players may be thinking and going through. But right now, let's have a song from Joe Cocker, and back with more soon. You're listening to Radio Mama. It's 20 minutes after 1 o'clock. It's just over an hour to the grand final in the GNFL this year. Railways and Brigades.
We are David Gray's AgLink, WA's largest independent, locally owned and operated agricultural distribution business, keeping profits in Western Australia. Visit our website at localsupportinglocals.com.au.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Filming Footy. In the last 4 years, Filming Footy has become the single largest provider of vision for grassroots football in Australia.
This game is very important for Trinity Aquinas, Brett. They're sitting 6th with 5 wins and 6 losses.
With an average of 150 matches filmed every weekend, leagues, clubs, players, families and supporters are able to watch local footy, either live or on a replay network.
The North Beach Company sitting on top with 2 clear wins, whereas Fremantle CBC sitting in 5th.
In 2022, it is our aim to have every league across Western Australia filmed and have the match of the round live streamed.
This is marked by Trinity Aquinas, brings the ball to the ground. Umpire's call play done. Chan of handballs, he was impressive.
Player there and Michael Wright. He goes by hand to Harry Taylor. Harry Taylor throws it on his left boot, shoots on goal. And Harry Taylor's got his first in a Northampton jumper. And a good way for the champion to start the game. Harry Taylor.
Filming Footy, live stream and game day recording specialists.
They'd be finding it pretty tough, I think they board the plane about 2 o'clock today, so they'll be at the airport now and getting ready to head over back to their families, which is some sort of comforting, get some comfort out of that, but they'll be pretty flat. They were comprehensively beaten by a very good Melbourne team. There's a bit of unknown about the list and where that's headed staff-wise. It's always tough. You're not sure if you're going to get another contract, but they'll be doing it pretty tough.
So what happens this week when they get home?
They go back. They're in lockdown, unfortunately, so they won't be able to sort of commiserate too much together. Melbourne and Victoria, the region of Victoria has sort of eased a little bit, but overall still pretty tight restrictions. They basically try to relax for a while. It might be a few weeks. Unfortunately, they can't really go away or get away too far, so they'll be sort of housebound and trying as best they can to get over the knocks and bruises of a pretty arduous season.
And you've been doing a little bit of mentoring with them, so does your role continue with a few of those players with a few little heart-to-hearts?
It'll be probably just a supportive role as much as possible over the next few weeks. As I said, there's players that unfortunately won't be there next year in the Cats jumper. So you've got to make sure you wrap your arms around them as tightly as possible and help out, because one thing we are at Geelong is a very united group, and no matter how many games you play or however long you've been on the list, we always still try to remember everyone as a Geelong player in person.
Harry, well done today, and I hear the radio comments went very well the other night, and good luck with what you've got to go through over the next few days with some of those players that'll be hurting a little bit. So thanks for that, and congratulations on a great season with the GNFL. It's been a lot of fun and a few little tricks, and we look forward to doing it all again next year.
No worries. Thanks very much, Barry. Cheers.
Great, thanks. Bye. Harry Taylor there, very busy man. He's got his clipboard, his hat, and he's off to his next assignment now. He's got a busy day. So thanks, Harry, and we'll catch up with Harry again. And we're gearing up now that about 1:45, I think we're going to cross over to the football team of Glenn Barndon and Pete Forenza and our special comments man. No special comments man. No, all right. Okie doke. So the one we had lined up is done his back. So good luck to you, Craig. So let's listen to the sports with Who Listens to the Radio, and we're gearing up now. So last quarter of the game, Railway 64, Northampton 26. So the result there's a giveaway, but if you want to get down, it's a beautiful day here at Wanthala Oval, so get along for the game. So I'll play some music up to getting organised. Bernie's got things to plug in and unplug and do all that stuff with. So and don't forget, if you want to watch the game and listen to the radio call, then go to the Great Northern Football League Facebook page. The link is there. You touch the link and up it comes. You can listen to the radio and you get it first, and or you can go to our radio. If you've got people that are out of the area but may want to listen to the game, get them to jump onto one of the links, and the video link will be the one. The sports in excess, Angry Anderson and Tina Turner with a few songs, and then we'll be with Glenn Barndon, thanks to Drenton O'Malley Motors, Warren Taylor Homes, the City of Greater Geraldton, Melissa Price, the member for Durack, and Skeeters all day, every day.
This girl in a bedroom doing her homework. She's a fooling with a lot of rhythm. She's going berserk. One hand to see that resting on the window, the other one's twiddling with the radio. What is the talking about? The horse is driving nuts. Now time says
listening to the Hot 30 with Maddie. Counting down the hottest 30 songs. The Hot 30 with Maddie around Australia.
Call 1-800-646-376 to send a shout out to the Hot 30.
Hey guys, it's Tate McRae here.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Khalid. What's going on, guys? This is Post Malone.
Listeners, this is Charlie Puth.
The Hot 30 with Maddie.
Hot 30.
Hi, this is Calvin Harris, and you're listening to my station.
Hey guys, Ava Max is here.
www.hot30withmaddie.com.
Hot 30 with Maddie. Oh my God! Tones and I. You're so f***ing cool. You're just what you do.
Hey, I'm Alaska, and you're listening to the Hot 30 with Maddie.
The Hot 30.
You're for Maddie's Top 30, Sunday nights, 6 o'clock on Radio Mama.
welcome to the GNFL Grand Final game day here at Wanthella Oval. We've just had the end of the reserves game, and Railways were victorious 12-11 to Northampton 4-9. And coming up at 2 o'clock, we have a preview of the GNFL League Grand Final with Glenn Barnden, of course, Mr. Football, and Pete Fiorenza, and one special comments gentleman coming along, and I'll let them introduce you to him when they get underway. But it's been a great day down here at Wanthella Oval. We've certainly seen some great football, with Towns winning the Colts against Railways, and we've just had the reserves, and Railways have defeated Northampton, looking for a huge league match. Of course, Brigades, who were top of the ladder, won the second semi-final straight into a grand final, and against Railways, who started off the season very well and faded away towards the end, but made it through, defeating Northampton in the preliminary final last week. So look forward to a fantastic match coming up at 2:30. The game starts, but as I said, Glenn Barnden and Pete Fiorenza with special guests straight after 2 o'clock. Let's have a little bit more music. Bobby Freeman, Steppenwolf, and we'll see where we go from there. It is 13 minutes away from 2 on this Sunday afternoon.
It's Lynn from the WA Country Health Service Midwest. Did you hear that public maternity services are returning to Geraldton Hospital from 14th of September? If you're having a baby, you'll need to go to Geraldton Hospital for all your appointments and antenatal care from 14th of September. The staff at the public maternity and newborn service look forward to welcoming you. For more information, you can call 9956 2241.
Proudly supported by Radio Mama.
adventure in whatever comes our way. Yeah, darling, go make it happen. Take the world in a loving embrace. Fire all of your guns at once and explode into space. I like smoking lightning, heavy metal thunder, racing with the wind, and the feeling that I'm under. Yeah, darling, go make it happen. Take the world in a loving embrace. Fire all of your guns at once and explode into space. Like a true nature's child, we were born to be wild. We can climb so high, I never wanna die. Born to be wild. Born to be wild. Got some motor running, head out on the highway, looking for adventure, and whatever comes our way. Yeah, darling, go make it happen. Take the world in a loving embrace. Fire all of your guns at once and explode into space. Like a true nature's child, we were born to be wild. We can climb so high, I never wanna die.
right now to kickstart your career.
We are David Gray's AgLink, WA's largest independent, locally owned and operated agricultural distribution business, keeping profits in Western Australia. Visit our website at localsupportinglocals.com.au.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Filming Footy. In the last 4 years, Filming Footy has become the single largest provider of vision for grassroots football in Australia.
This game is very important for Trinity Aquinas, Brett. They're sitting 6th with 5 wins and 6 losses.
With an average of 150 matches filmed every weekend, leagues, clubs, players, families and supporters are able to watch local footy, either live or on a replay network.
The North Beach Company sitting on top with 2 clear wins, whereas Fremantle CBC sitting in 5th.
In 2022, it is our aim to have every league across Western Australia filmed and have the match of the round live streamed.
This is marked by Trinity Aquinas, brings the ball to the ground. Umpire's call play done. Chan of handballs, he was impressive.
Player there in Michael Wright. He goes by hand to Harry Taylor. Harry Taylor throws it on his left boot, shoots on goal. And Harry Taylor's got his first in a Northampton jumper. And a good way for the champion to start the game. Harry Taylor.
Filming Footy, live stream and game day recording specialists.
We are David Gray's AgLink, WA's largest independent, locally owned and operated agricultural distribution business, keeping profits in Western Australia. Visit our website at localsupportinglocals.com.au.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Filming Footy. In the last 4 years, Filming Footy has become the single largest provider of vision for grassroots football in Australia.
This game is very important for Trinity Aquinas, Brett. They're sitting 6th with 5 wins and 6 losses.
With an average of 150 matches filmed every weekend, leagues, clubs, players, families and supporters are able to watch local footy, either live or on a replay network.
The North Beach Company sitting on top with 2 clear wins, whereas Fremantle CBC sitting in 5th.
In 2022, it is our aim to have every league across Western Australia filmed and have the match of the round live streamed.
This is marked by Trinity Aquinas, brings the ball to the ground. Umpire's call play done. Chan of handballs, he was impressive.
Player there in Michael Wright. He goes by hand to Harry. In yesterday's women's grand final, played out at Greenock in front of a big crowd. Northampton are the premiers. Northampton 3 goals 2-20. Defeated Chapman Valley 1 goal 3-9, 11 points the margin. In the youth league game yesterday, in the under-16s, Railways 9-6-60 defeated Chapman Valley 2-1-13. So a good day for Northampton in the seniors and Railways in the juniors. In earlier games today, we've got a couple of premiership sides. In the Colts, Towns led all day and ran out very good winners. Towns 5-9, 39 have defeated Railways 2 goals 6-18. Let's go through that again. Towns 5 goals 12-42 have defeated their Railways counterparts, 2 goals 6-18, so a solid win there to Towns. Towns came from 4th position on the premiership table to finish the game with a very, very nice premiership. Their first Towns premiership in 29 years. They last won a Colts premiership in 1992. As we see Adam Price being carried from the ground from the Northampton side. Adam must be going to retire after today's game, and he's been a great contributor to the Northampton Footy Club as a club president. Also a premiership coach in their reserves, and he's being sent off. And Northampton didn't have the day they wanted in their reserves. It was a big win to Railways. Railways 11-11-77 have defeated Northampton 5-9-39. In the medals that happened earlier today, in the Colts, the Alan Cox medal was won by Lachlan Morphew from Towns, and the East medal went to Taj Sati. And in the reserves, the Charlie Come Again medal was won by Joseph Iriari, and in the Eastern medal went to Brendan Harrington. And for those of you that may be interested in what happened in the North Midlands Footy League Grand Final yesterday, played at Minganoo, it was Crew Latham who got over the top. Crew Latham 13-8-86 defeated Minganoo 7-8-50. So a good win there to Crew Latham, who came from nowhere to win the Grand Final in the North Midlands. So a job well done. But we're here today for the big one. Brigades up against Railways. Of course, Brigades the top qualifier. Railways have had to work their way through from the 4th spot, but they've got there now. But as I mentioned at the very beginning, we're joined by a special guest today, and it's a great pleasure to have him in Geraldton, the Midwest WA football icon, Ron Alexander. Good afternoon to you, Ron.
Yeah, thanks very much. It looks like a fascinating afternoon, and Railways have done a great job to be here. Let's hope they're up to it. We'll soon find out.
That's right. Brigades are the side to beat. That's their premiership to lose. But as we've seen in the last couple of nights in AFL footy, there's been some big wins. We saw Geelong not up to it when they came up against Melbourne on Friday night in Perth, and then last night was a similar sort of story with the Western Bulldogs, far too good for Port Adelaide. So finals footy, it's a funny thing, isn't it?
Yeah, attitude's king, and we saw in those games the side that actually just played on very quickly and didn't allow the other team to set up their defence, set up a wall, just overwhelmed them. So early in the game, I'm sure we'll get an indication of the styles, and taking the game on is, in my view, the only way to end up on top.
So, Ron, you've been around footy for a long time. Have you been to a GNFL Grand Final previously?
I've been to a lot of them. I've seen the Clune medalists knocked out in the first 10 minutes by Gus Morris many moons ago, and I've been to quite a few, most of them at the recreation ground, and really enjoyed it. In fact, I had someone while I was standing watching it come and say, "Can I come and have a chat to you?" And I said, "Yeah, what's it about?" He said, "I'm your father." So that was an experience I could tell you.
Well, you learn something every day, don't you?
Yeah, there's a longer story to that. He wasn't, thank goodness.
Well, when it comes to your involvement with the Great Northern, of course, as an East Fremantle coach in times gone by, and an East Fremantle person, and later on a West Coast coach, you've had a lot to do with this part of the world, and you've seen a lot of great footballers come through.
Well, I enjoyed being a part of it. Coaching East Fremantle, I saw, as a part of it, being a part of the GNFL. So we used to come up here a lot with people like Tony Cicerello and Oscar Howard and all those people. Some of the older folk will remember them. And there was a fabulous relationship, and that's good to see, because it's a two-way thing. Obviously looking for talent, but also wanting to contribute and be a part of the game up here. And I think that's what East Fremantle now are trying to reignite, and it's good to see a lot of the East Fremantle folk up here now.
Well, this is where the game was played. You may remember a few years back when the Fremantle Dockers and West Coast played. So this ground is a pretty good ground. It handles a pretty good crowd. On that day, there was about 10,000 people turned up. It was a very warm summer's day. It was very, very extensively, it was hot. And people still turned up, but this is a nice venue too.
Well, I played in a game up here against Claremont with East Fremantle for 4 points. And I thought it was this ground here. But I enjoyed that game because we won, as you tend to do. So there's a hell of a breeze blowing at the moment from right to left.
So it's a pretty handy toss of the coin, and we have this discussion quite regularly. Come spring in Geraldton particularly, you get the sea breeze coming through like this. If you're the coach today and your captain wins the toss, what do you do?
Well, I've done both, and I think I lost them both from memory. So there's my view of it. So the one we won in '85, I actually I think we kicked against the breeze, but getting up early and that can get your players' tails up. So I think kicking with the breeze, if you want to get off to a nice start and doesn't hurt, get in front and let the other side catch.
Well, it's happened in both AFL finals this weekend, but those sides were both firing pretty well. But if you get 4 or 5 goals up, it's a bit of a psychological advantage, isn't it, going into the quarter-time break?
Yeah, look, in all sport, well, in life, attitude is king.
Yes.
And if you're just starting to feel good about yourself and then you're taking the game on, sides falter and choke when they think they could win and they start defending the game. So a nice early start, keeping it along with a heck of a breeze that we've got, I think is a good way to start.
Ron, when it comes to those blokes that we were speaking about earlier, I saw you talking with young John Sims, who you would have seen come through as a youngster, and now he came back to Geraldton and had a great coaching record with the Rover Football Club for a fair period of time. Had a real 10-year block where they were very, very strong, and he still contributes around town. But there's been a lot of blokes like that have come through the club at East Fremantle and returned here. Ron Bentley wasn't a local, but he certainly came back to Geraldton and contributed a lot over the years, coached at a number of clubs. So it's great to see those blokes, and that's what we're talking about on our sports show only yesterday. It's very well for these players to go down and try their luck in the big smoke, but it'd be nice to see more of them come back.
Yeah, well, Simsy's a pretty smart fella too,
yes.
So I'm sure he's doing well in business, and I caught up with Brad Tunbridge earlier, and
yes,
he's looking like he could be out on the ground.
He does.
He was always big and fit and strong, and he's looking no different. So it's good to come here and catch up with those sorts of guys. There's been a lot of good players, Scotty Rowlands and of course the ones that everyone knows, Murray Renstead and Maney, and just such a good group of players who have enjoyed their footy. But most of them seem to come back. Most of them enjoy coming back to their home and give a little bit back. And I think Harry Taylor's been a great boon to the GNFL at the moment, because I've been and watched a couple of his training sessions, and they're very, very good and very game orientated, very game related, as they should be.
Yes.
And they're not always. Sometimes they're just based around hard running and all that. But he's clearly able to offer something in the teaching stakes.
And that's a great conduit, isn't it, to have a bloke like that in the Midwest who can train the young players up, develop them to a stage where they can go to the WAFL and have a real red-hot dip.
Well, he seems very accomplished, Harry. Just chatting to him, he knows footy, he knows people. He's very calm.
Yes.
He's good to be around. So I think he looks like a real gem.
Do you think he might be a coach of the future? I mean, he's taken a couple of years off, back in his hometown and his home community, and playing footy now and still enjoying that. But the opportunity down the track to return perhaps to a higher level at WAFL level, or even back at AFL level?
Well, look, I guess building on what I just said, he does seem a very bright and intuitive individual, and he can clearly assess the situation. The young players that he's coaching, are listening and loving the involvement, and I think they're learning a lot. But coaching is not just about running hard laps and being tough and rough and all that. It's being able to think your way through a game. And I'm sure from what I've seen of Harry, he can do that. And I think if he wanted to be a coach, he certainly could be.
So a pretty good crowd here, Peter, at the moment. Looks like a good crowd building up. As we mentioned, we've had a couple of very good games, and it was Towns who took out the Colts with a solid win over Railways. Railways proved far too good for Northampton. And let's quickly go through today's sides for today's big game. And we've got the Railways side, and Railways have got a couple of good ones in today, which should certainly help.
Yeah, let's have a look at Railways from the back line. It reads Bo Simpson, Kyle Watts and Tom Rowe. The half-back line is Tristan Simpson, Drew Tunbridge and Matt Kimberley. The centre line, Noah Cashard, Mitch Boyle and Jamie Huggins. The half-forward line, Elijah Burrows, Ben Saunders and Shaden Edwards. And the full-forward line is Jared Garlett back into the lineup, having played only about 3 or 4 games in the competition. Jesse Moore and Jack Cocking. The first ruck comprises of Tom Goff, Taylor Williams, Jesse Adamini, and interchange players Nathan Paletti, Mitch Innes, Stuart Egan and Nathan Tubby.
So some very good players in the Railways lineup. Good to see Jared Garlett back from the reserves playling with West Coast.
Who would they have dropped for him, Glenn?
I'm not too sure. I think it'll be one of the young men because, they've only brought in 4 young blokes today. So they've, I think Riley Zimmerman is the player that's missed out. Riley Zimmerman is the player that missed out from last week, from what I gather.
Can't see Elliot Delaney in that lineup.
Yeah, but Elliot Delaney was suspended.
That's right. So
Elliot Delaney was suspended 3 weeks ago.
Yep.
And he was out for 3 weeks, so he missed all the finals, which is very sad for him.
Forget about that.
Yeah. When it comes to Brigades, they've only made one change after their 50-point win in the second semi-final. From the fullback line, it's Joel Patrick, Sam Millett and Nathan Svensson. Halfbacks Clay Sippler, Jesse Castleton and Isaac Ronan. Centre line of Graham Sandy. Mick Quick returns. He was out last time, Peter, because he had concussion, so he didn't play in the second semi-final. Ethan Pahalski, he comes in and he was a very good player in the second semi, of course an East Fremantle player. James Ryder, David Little and Jordan O'Brien make up the full half-forward line. The full-forward line is Caden Dan, Dale Williamson and Ben O'Brien. First ruck is Hayden Johnson, Kim Schofield and Jaden Schofield. Interchange players Jack Deschamps, Drew McGregor, Peyton Mason, Brendan Cocking and Aaron McCartney.
Blake Bunter also out of the lineup.
Yeah, Blake Bunter is out. Yeah, that's right. So Blake, he played Colts today. So a very disappointing day for Blake because he would have perhaps liked to have a little bit more success in the Colts, but that didn't happen. Didn't play out that way. And it was a good win in the end to his opposition side today. So a pretty interesting day indeed. So Railways, they got the work to do as we see the Railways and Brigades players lining up, getting prepared. And once again, it's good to see the local painters have been busy on the ground. The ground looks a treat. And all the park looks really good here at WA Country Builders Stadium as Railways stand up. And the umpires this afternoon, are umpires Robert Bennett, Steve Pratt and Brian Cohen. They were the three umpires who were named in our All-Star side. So the MC, James Gardner, is running through and we're just about to have the welcome to country, but we haven't got a microphone on that, so we won't be able to hear that. So we're having the welcome to country now, which is a nice gesture, and then of course we'll have the national anthem, I'd say. So Brigades, they're in a more relaxed stance across the ground. They're at the northern end, at the Wonthella end, and we have the Railway side are a bit more of a huddle as we see the welcome to country this afternoon. And it is a very, very windy day here. Fair to say the breeze is favouring the Wonthella end, and the big orange windsock seems to have got itself in a bit of a knot at the moment, so that's not travelling as well as it would like. So we see the ball, the wind favouring the Wonthella end. And just repeating what happened in earlier games today, we can run through them with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton. In the Colts, it was a good win to Towns. They led all day. Towns 5-12-42, defeated Railways 2-6-18. So it was a good opportunity there. Towns winning their first grand final in 29 years. In the reserves, it was Railways 11-11-77, defeated Northampton 5-9-39. And when you look at the premiership table, it was Northampton who were the favourites going into this game because they had gone through and looked pretty high on the premiership table. They in fact finished on 5th for country, which was 6 points above their opponents, Railways. A good strong performance there. So we see a really interesting scoreline there. And just repeating the Alan Cox medal.
Yeah, sorry, Glenn. We can go to ground to the ground now, where the presentations for the beginning of the game are now taking place.
I do wish both Railways and Brigades all the best. As a daughter of this land and a Nugget person, I welcome you to Yamatji country and the knowledge that many language groups that make us the Yamatji nation. It doesn't matter who you are, where you come from. Footy brings everybody together. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. I'd like to now invite Jasmine Allen forward for the national anthem. So if you could please join with the players, umpires and officials in standing for the Australian national anthem.
Australia's movement, our streets, for we are young and free. We've grown to sing and work for town. Our home is girt by sea. Our hands are bound to nature's gifts of beauty, rich and rare. In history's page, let every state advance Australia fair. In joyful strains, then let us sing. Advance Australia fair.
I'd like to now invite Ben Saunders and Mick Quick forward for the toss of the coin to be done by the two.
Yeah, Jasmine Owen, they're doing a fine job. Beautiful rendition of Advance Australia Fair and a beautiful welcome to country prior to that. And we're just about to see the toss of the coin. Ben Saunders, the captain of the Railways Club, and Mick Quick, the captain of the Brigades Club. Craig Harrington, the Volunteer of the Year, of course, and president of the Brigades Footy Club, has done the toss of the coin, and Railways have won the toss. And they'll kick to the breeze into the ground, which is the one-fella end. And I'd say the breeze is worth a good 2 to 3 goals at least. So Railways going with the breeze in the first quarter. And our umpires this afternoon, as I mentioned, Peter, Robert Bennett, Steve Platt and Brian Cohen, they were named in our GNFL Sports Sheds All-Stars side yesterday. So we got the umpires right anyway.
We certainly have, Glenn, and as you mentioned, the breeze, it's picking up even as we speak from our broadcast position here in the Podge Jackson Grandstand at the Pavilion. We're in the Pavilion here at the Towns Footy Club at Wonthalla, and all our players are moving to their positions now. We're joined by Ron Alexander, of course, Western Australian footy great. Ron, this is a big ground though, isn't it?
It's a big ground, and the hearts will be pumping now, and after the very first bounce, it'll be on. It's actually on right now.
As the players move into position, as indicated by Ron, the spirits are alive and well, with both of these clubs having a lot of history. And as they go into their positions now at both ends of the ground, and in the first quarter, as Glenn indicated, Railways will be kicking to the Wonthalla end and Towns to the Golf Club end. To call all the action for the first term in the 2021 Grand Final, it is Mr. Football, Glenn Barnden.
On Drilling O'Malley Motors game going for Warrantala Homes in this first term. Umpires this afternoon, and the leading umpire, Robert Bennett, will start the game off and throw the ball into the air, and the big ruckman will go at it. And Hayden Johnson doing the rucking for Brigades, and Tom Clough doing the rucking for Railways. So the four have got their best players in the midfield trying to get the ball out of the centre. Up they go. Hayden Johnson wins it forward, but only as far as Jager Williams for Railways. He kicks it up towards half forward, looking there for Ben Saunders. Saunders couldn't mark, comes through to Shaden Edwards for the Blues, gets a handball back towards Clough, goes the way of Matt Kimberley. Matt Kimberley is tackled high. Kimberley plays on quickly, goes by hand to Jesse Adamini. Adamini puts it into towards the forward pocket, where he finds Jesse Moore, and Jesse Moore is marked in the opening 30 seconds of this game. Term number 1 for Warrantala Homes.
I think this is Grand Final number 8 for Jesse Moore. I think he's won a couple of them. He'll be keen to add this to his wins of Grand Finals. Jesse Moore, heavily strapped shoulder. He's been a great servant to the Railways Football Club, kicking from about 45 metres. It's a nice kick. It looks pretty good off the boot. It's going to drop short. It actually went across the face of goal in the end and through for the minor score. So the first goal of the afternoon, I should say the first score of the afternoon, goes to Railways, our one straight point, and Brigades yet to open their account.
On the Mitchell and Brown scoreboard, Grand Final 2021 in the GNFL as Brigades bring the ball out of the defensive zone, go out wide looking for the WA Country Builders Stadium score. Sign out there, goes the way does Mitchell Boyle, the JJ Clune medalist, one of four this year. He's one of four. Gets it in towards centre half forward where he finds Shaden Edwards. Edwards is tackled and didn't seem to have a lot of prior opportunity, but the free kick will go the way of Joel Patrick. So Joel Patrick with the ball now. Joel Patrick playing in defence for the Hawks. Kicks it up towards centre wing. Jamie Huggins marks for the Blues. Handballs it on to Clough. Clough kicks it forward, but once again Joel Patrick is there and holds up proceedings.
Standing tall Patrick, he comes laterally now and finds McCartney. Aaron McCartney's never played in a grand final, Glenn, but been a great servant for Brigades. An errant kick, though, going to Kimberley. He ricocheted straight back down the corridor. Up they go. It goes away of Garlett now, who runs straight through and kicks the first major of the grand final for Railways. Aaron McCartney, an errant kick there coming out of defence there, Ron, and that was just a mistake that Brigades didn't need.
Yeah, it was totally unnecessary and just gifted them a goal, and nice to get the first one on the board in what's been a frenetic start.
Jared Garlett, of course, just returned from the West Coast Eagles, so he gives them something up forward. Railways have been lacking since Elliot Delaney's suspension to have a key of forward of note, but Jared Garlett certainly is a player of note, and he'll probably move into the midfield as the day progresses. Ball back in the centre. Umpire Brian Cohen put the ball up.
1-1 plays no score. 7 points to Railways. Brigades yet to get anything on the board.
Mitchell and Brown scoreboard, and the ball to be thrown up, and it is now. And once again, Railways had the best of this one with Tom Clough, but in goes Hayden Johnson trying to get on the ball. So too does Clough. He's been a good player for Railways this year, and he's certainly doing his work well this afternoon. Opening the 3 minutes of this first term, Warren Taylor Holmes on Drennan O'Malley Motors game day, and the ball goes the way of Johnson. He wins it to ground, picked up now by Cockman. He goes a handball, but it gets picked up now by Railways' Tristan Simpson. Simpson keeps it away of Shaden Edwards. In goes Isaac Ronan. He goes by hand to Mick Quick. Mick Quick by hand to David Little, who goes the way of Brendan Cockman. He goes for the sanctuary of the boundary line, and this is the furthest Brigades have been forward this year, in this quarter that is, and the ball will be thrown in just up from the Brigades coach's box. So Railways have the breeze, the strong breeze that they're back in this quarter. Brigades have the work ahead going to the golf club end. Brigades player puts a beautiful tackle on a Railways player. Tristan Simpson caught in possession. Free kick will go the way of Brigades' Jack Deschamps.
Deschamps sends it into the half-forward area. A mark to Brigades here would be decisive. Over the back it goes to Simpson, though. Clough gets it out, down the wing. Elijah Burrows, the youngster, playing with a bit of style this season, sends it down to another youngster, Shaden Edwards, sends it inboard, and Tristan Simpson has a bit of time. Down the flank he goes into the half-forward area. It's fisted away, but straight down the throat of Jamie Huggins. In fact, it's Cashard. Cashard tries to knock it forward. A player is tackled without the ball. The umpires are not seeing that, and that player, of course, is Garlett, coming into the lineup this week. A great in for Railways. The ball eventually goes over the boundary and is about to be thrown in. Ron Alexander joining us for special comments. A pretty fast pace at the moment, Ron.
Certainly a very fast pace, but Railways making great use of handball.
Ball thrown in about 15 metres around from the left point post, roved by Tom Clough. He grabs the ball, but the breeze grabs it and takes it across the face of goal, out of bounds on the full. So Brigades get the opportunity to relieve the pressure from the right back pocket. In fact, it didn't go out of bounds on the full, it went out of bounds. So the boundary umpire put the ball back into play. Umpire puts the ball back into play now. Brigades keen to get the ball out of where it is. Railways keen to drive it forward, and they do through Cashard. His kick drops short, and a good mark taken there by the Brigades player in Sam Millett. Millett with the ball, plays on quickly. In fact, it's Jesse Castleton with the ball.
Had a good season, Jesse, hasn't he?
He has. Kicks it the way of Kim Schofield. And Schofield with the ball on the outer side. There goes his kick. Big kick up towards centre wing, outer side, pack into the air. Johnson was there, so too is Mitchell Boyle. Boyle's tackled. In fact, a free kick has been given the way of Hayden Johnson, the big ruckman for the Brigades club. He comes across the ground and picks out a teammate there, and Clay Sippler is that player.
Clay Sippler, he still also has had a good season for the Hawks. Sends it down the middle of the ground. It's marked now by the Brigades player who intends to play on now. Out to the wing he comes. He's looking for Schofield. Jaden Schofield obliges. He sends it into space, expecting the player there and O'Brien to run onto it. He welcomes the ball. It bounces once, twice. He heads straight toward the big sticks, but unfortunately he goes straight across the face of goal with that kick, and I think it did. It went through for the minor score.
Mitchell and Brown scoreboard. Brigades go to 1 behind. They trail Railways 1-1. It would have been a very difficult kick across the face of goal there from Ben O'Brien, but Railways keen to get the ball out of that area now. Tom Rowe is the player, brings it up the ground, finds Jamie Huggins. Huggins on half back, goes towards a teammate, but Brigades have the numbers and the pace when Graham Sandy takes the ball, kicks the ball back to whence it came, up towards Ben O'Brien. Ben O'Brien takes a very, very strong mark in front of Tom Rowe, one-handed, and Rowe was doing the right thing, but Ben O'Brien showed his class, stood his ground, and took that mark one-armed, and now can shoot and get the Hawks' first major of the afternoon. We saw him have a shot a few moments ago, but that was across the face of goal, a very difficult shot on the run. So let's see how he goes now.
Terrific mark, Glenn.
A very, very solid mark indeed. 45-degree angle, about 30 metres out, kicking to the golf club end. He's on the right half forward flank, shooting towards the goals. Can he do it? Very tough in these weather conditions. There goes his kick. He sees it across the face of goal again. It's going to be hard to kick goals at that end, it would appear. And the ball goes through, out of bounds, in fact. Didn't even make a score, so out of bounds, right on the point post.
It'd be wise to be actually aiming to the right-hand side because it's swinging from right to left,
yes,
and they're missing to the left-hand side every time.
Yeah, the breeze not directly coming down the ground, but from a south-easterly direction, as Ron has indicated here at Wonthella. The ball coming in now from that particular direction. A bit of a pack does develop in front of the goals again for Brigades. They now have got the feeling of trying to get the ball down the ground against the breeze. A strong breeze here this afternoon, almost 3 goals in this particular term, and will get stronger. The ball in the middle of the ground, though, is with Railways. They do the better of it in a pack of players coming out to the side, though, and it's Brigades who do better there. From the outer side, the Force Road side of the ground, they go laterally. Coming back to O'Brien now. He shoots on goal, and he has scored the first major for Brigade. So that was a very clever piece of play by the Hawks on that occasion. And Ron, they certainly knew what they wanted to do. It sort of like a bit of a set play, that one there, and O'Brien finishing off well.
Yeah, it was well done, and he finished off beautifully. So to even up the goal count against a breeze like this is pretty significant.
It's almost like, sorry Glenn, it's almost like against the breeze with a yacht. You sort of got to tack your way up, don't you?
Well, they did that, and they got him into good range.
Well, Ben O'Brien's had 3 shots for goal, and he got the last one right, so maybe he took your advice, Ron, and he's got it on target now because he's a very clever player, and he's certainly finished that one off.
He'll be important this afternoon, won't he, Glenn?
Yeah, he will. Mitchell and Brown scoreboard, 1 goal, 1 apiece. That's 7 points apiece, and we've played 8.5 minutes in this first term with thanks to Warren Taylor Holmes, and the umpire will have to come up and throw the ball up again. So there was a big pack developed straight away. The game has started with great finesse, both sides with good intensity as you'd expect. And the ball comes the way of the player there in Kim Schofield, who kicks the ball into the air under pressure. Picked up now by Jesse Adamini for Railways. Gives it by hand to Mitchell Boyle. He goes by hand to the young man in Noah Cashard. Cashard for the Blues. Kicks it up towards full forward. Jesse Moore leads the race for the ball. In goes the Brigades player. Slips it out. Ball comes back to Adamini. Picked up now by Brigades player, who goes for the sanctuary of the boundary. Jared Garlett's there. And Garlett sees the ball across the boundary line. There'll be a boundary throw in the left forward pocket, about 20 metres around from the left point post at the golf club at the Wonthella end of the ground, in front of the good crowd here at WA Country Builder Stadium this afternoon.
Certainly is, and the score reading 7 points apiece on the scoreboard, 1-1 here in the grand final. The ball coming in now from the Wonthella end. The Interwood Railways are kicking in this term with a 3-goal breeze at their back, but the defence for Brigades has held up well this season. It is again this afternoon in this the grand final. At the far side, player almost caught in possession, but the ball spills free. It's picked up by Boyle now for Railways. He sends it inboard, but there again, Jesse Castleton. He's been great this year. He gets it out of danger to the outer side into the big pockets of the WA Country Builders Stadium. And a bit of a pack does develop. You can hear the breeze in the background, so certainly is a factor this afternoon. The whistle sounds and the ball will be thrown up. As a defender, Ron, when you're up against a strong breeze, how do you sort of play a game like this?
Well, you can't get too far in front because the ball carries, and you'll be in great trouble if it goes over the back. So playing from behind is not such a bad idea.
Ball comes in from the throw in, and once again very close to the boundary line, and the field umpire says to the boundary umpire, throw it in. 7 points apiece. We've played 11 and a half minutes, so Brigades would be pretty happy with where they're sitting at the moment. Railways have got a very strong breeze at their back, but there's a fair way to go in this first term, with thanks to Warren Taylor Homes on Radio Mama, the home of GNFL football in the GNFL 60th year. Ball comes in from the boundary throw in. In goes the Brigades player now in Kim Schofield. Schofield kicks it up towards centre wing, where he finds the hard-running Ben O'Brien. Ben O'Brien for Brigades kicks it up looking for Dale Williamson. Ball comes back looking there for Jamie Ryder. Ryder is tackled. Ball spills. Umpire saying he was caught in possession, so the free kick will go the way of the Railways player, and that Railways player is rewarded with the free kick, and that player is Tom Rowe.
Tom Rowe, just outside the centre square on the Floors Road sign of WA Country Builders Stadium. He sends it to a contest. The ball goes down. I think it's Elijah Burrows who's first in the race. In fact, it's Cashard. He sends it to the outer side off the Railways boot. It comes into the full forward area. Up they go at the back of the pack, though. It's saved by the Brigades defender, who heads for the sanctuary of the boundary and eventually finds it. So at the moment, Railways are throwing everything they can with this breeze at their back to get a good score early on the board. But the defence for Brigades are working hard. The ball about to be thrown in now in the full forward area for the Railway side. In it comes now, going to ground. Starting to get a little bit scrappy. The ball is socked through, but it goes forward though for the defenders, and they are Brigades. To ground though, players diving on top of the ball, trying to slap it out, so not caught in possession. Out of the pack it comes to the Brigades player, is quickly caught in possession. It's play on now. The umpire allowed it. The supporters didn't like it. It goes the way of Brigades now inside the corridor. They kick to the sanctuary of the outer side, and the ball about to be thrown in. I think the crowd might have had a bit of an argument there, Ron.
Well, I can't see why the Railways player just didn't go back and kick for goals, but yeah, it was a little confusing, that one.
So the ball will be thrown in again. The players are interchanging quickly. Nathan Tubby coming on the ground now for Railways, and Cockman comes back on for Brigades. Ball goes up the ground, and it's taken by the player there in Simpson. Bo Simpson puts it on his left boot, kicks it forward, and finds the man there in Ben Saunders. Ben Saunders, who played last week and played well. Ben Saunders now breaks around, and now he gets himself in trouble, gets caught, and Brigades can regroup through Kim Schofield. Kim Schofield kicks it forward, looking up the ground there for Jamie Ryder. Ryder's got two to beat, does it well, feeds the handball back, but it goes too far, goes back towards a teammate. That teammate appeared to be driven into the ground. That's the way the umpires saw it, and the free kick will go the way of Ethan Pahalski, the Brigades player who's spent a fair bit of time at East Fremantle this year.
Ethan Pahalski off the half-back line, sends it further afield, just in front of the scoreboard, and it doesn't meet the intended target and finds the boundary once again. So the ball about to be thrown in the half-forward area now for Brigades. The score is 7 points apiece as we go past the midway point for the first term of the grand final. That's what Alexander has mentioned, a free kick going the way now of Brigades. Up into the half-forward area, up they go, and a mark is taken by the defender for Railways. So, a bit of a tennis match at the moment, end-to-end. Railways kick back to whence it came. Tend to like playing on the Floors Road side of the ground. The ball is with Tubby, I think it is. The double Clue medalist. He sends it inboard. A few Clue medalists out there today. Finds a teammate. Slowing it down a little bit are the Blues, and they're good at doing that because when they get a run on Brigades, they're hard to stop. So the Blues want to slow it down as it goes away now of Saunders. Gets another bite of the cherry, a beautiful kick. Well, it looked like it intended to be a beautiful kick, but it ended up not being very accurate. Going inside the forward 50, indiscriminately now it goes to ground. It is the player in Elijah Burrows who's first in the race. He's tackled without the ball. The umpire wasn't sighted. Going back the way of a teammate there. He tries to kick forward, but eventually the Brigades custodian gets it. He heads toward the boundary, but Railways do better. They kick from that section of the ground. Inside the corridor, comes off hands, but Mitchell Boyle is not quick enough to pick it up, and Sockwood through for another goal. So we are, as I said, over the midway point of the first term in the grand final for 2021.
Mitchell and Brown scoreboard, and it is Railways 1 goal 2-8. They lead Brigades 1 goal 1-7, but it's fair to say that Railways have got a pretty handy breeze at their back in this quarter, so Brigades have done well to this point. Can they keep them out in time on? The ball comes back towards Brigades. Jordan O'Brien, short pass finds Jack Deschamps. Jack Deschamps in the centre for the Hawks, kicks it up towards half forward, looking there for Ben O'Brien. Ben O'Brien's got Tom Rowe to beat. He's got support from Caden Dan. Caden Dan does well. O'Brien kicks it forward and finds Jordan O'Brien, and Jordan O'Brien still a fair distance from goal, kicking towards the golf club end in this second term. So Jordan O'Brien goes back, short pass, nice pass it is too, and picks out a Brigades player, and a very good mark taken there by the Hawks, and Brigades could go in with a pretty handy goal if he can finish this one off. So it is Ethan Pahowski who has the ball, and he is 30 metres out.
A lot of unrewarded running there in Polsky, because he came from the half-back line when that passage of play was going, having got the ball up to O'Brien in the first instance, and now we have a shot on goal. Ron, this guy has got a bit of a roost on him, so he might nail this one.
Yes, well, they're certainly putting themselves in the right position by the excellent kicking.
So he has a chance now, 30 metres out. 45-degree angle, and this will be a great goal for the Hawks if he gets it. And it looks pretty good off the boot. And the Hawks have got their second of the afternoon, the second of the quarter. And on the Mitchell and Brown scoreboard, it is a good goal there to Brigades. Brigades go to 2 goals 1, and they lead Railways 1 goal 1.
Ron Alexander joining us with special comments here on Radio Mama, the home of GNFL football. We have let the listeners know, Ron, that it is about a 3 or 4 goal breeze that is favouring the one-tailor end, the end to which Railways are kicking. They're not taking advantage of it at the moment, but the Hawks aren't allowing them to, are they?
Well, Brigades are using the ball so well, where Railways are just hoping the breeze is going to do it for them, and the use of the ball by the Brigades is the difference at the moment.
Ball back in the centre, umpire Cohen to put the ball up. Aaron McCartney in the middle there. So too is the big man for Brigades, Hayden Johnson. But Tom Clough doing a good job for Railways. And rewarded there is Jesse Adamini. He was interfered with. Jesse Adamini gets his free kick from the centre of the ground. Kicks it up towards half forward. In goes Jesse Moore. He meets a Brigades player pretty solidly. The ball comes out towards centre wing where Kim Schofield grabs the ball. In fact, it's Jaden Schofield. Gets it to Kim and back to Jaden. Jaden kicks it forward. Schofield, that is. And finds David Little. David Little breaks across half forward. Kicks it up towards full forward. And a very strong mark taken by Caden Dan. And Caden Dan shooting on goal to the golf club end. And Caden Dan could make it a very, very strong quarter for the Hawks as we head towards time on in this first quarter, with thanks to Warren Taylor Holmes. So Caden Dan, been a revelation for the Hawks this year, kicked a lot of goals and been a very, very consistent player. Kicked a bag of 10 on one occasion. There goes his kick. Looks pretty good off the boot.
Yep.
Goal umpire signals all clear. And the Hawks get their third. And on the Mitchell and Brown scoreboard, Brigades go to 3 goals 1, 19. They lead Railways 1 goal 2, 8.
Listening to Radio Mama, the home of GNFL football. Ron Alexander, special comments this afternoon. Ron, just for mine, looking at the game today, and I have watched Brigades play like this, especially in the last semi or last final that they played. There seems to be a lot of structure and preemptive work that's going on with the Brigade side.
Yes, the teamwork's there. You can see the target is running, and they know where he's going to be. And the kicking's been exceptional into the breeze.
Yeah, certainly has. It is 15 or 19 plays 8 in favour of the Hawks here in the grand final. We're heading to quarter time here at Wonthella Park, WA Country Builders Stadium, and the ball is in the half-back line. It goes forward now across the wing. It's looking for the Brigades custodian there, but misses intended target. Going back the way now of Graham Sandy, the little speedster. He's got a bit of room here. He bounces it once into the half-forward area, overshoots the target into the pocket now. Running through to collect it is the defensive player in Tristan Simpson for Railways, and he finds the boundary. So the attacking, Glenn, has been dominated in the last part of this term, certainly by the Hawks.
Yeah, Railways kicked the first goal of the quarter, and then Brigades have kicked the next 3, which has been a very good effort against this strong breeze. Ball comes in from the boundary throw in. Picked up by Cockman. He throws it on his boot, kicks it towards full forward. Ben O'Brien's there. He's under a fair bit of pressure. The umpire said he had no opportunity to get rid of the ball. He was tackled there by the Railways player. So there'll be a throw up about 10 metres away from the danger zone. Brigades will be keen to get the goal through. Railways keen to get it out. They do through Bo Simpson. He kicks the ball forward, but he's picked out Jaden Schofield. And Jaden Schofield is told now to play on. He played on. The ball goes the way of a Brigades teammate who shoots it up towards full forward. In goes Jager Williams. He sees the ball spill, goes the way of Matt Kimberley. He handballs it over towards Drew Tunbridge, and Tunbridge kicks it up towards centre wing, looking there for Tom Clough. Tom Clough leads the race for the ball, picks it up, runs into a packet. It's Stuart Egan, in fact, who gets it over towards Jesse Moore. Jesse Moore gets it up the ground, looking for some movement. Ball comes the way now of Jack Cocking. Jack Cocking goes by hand to Jared Garlett. Garlett runs out of room, and the former AFL player gets it on towards Jack Cocking. Cocking plays on quickly and centres the ball where he finds Shaden Edwards. And Shaden Edwards, the young Colts player, has an opportunity to kick his first of the afternoon. And of course, he had a very successful week last week. He kicked 3, and I think Jack Cocking kicked 5.
He doesn't miss too many, does Shaden Edwards, Glenn, both on the run and from set shots, but about 45 metres out. But he's got a strong breeze at his back, and from where he's shooting, it's right behind him this afternoon. Kicking toward the 1-thaler, and in comes Shaden Edwards now. An important goal. Let's see what it can do. It's going to drop short. Yes, it comes off hands. No. Yes, it did. It was the Railways player that jumped up in the air. In fact, Jack Cocking, I think, got a hand to it, Glenn, and denied his teammate from getting a major score on the board. So it is 19 plays 8 on the scoreboard, thanks to Mitchell and Brown in favour of the Hawks.
So Brigades bring the ball in quickly. They have it on the outer side, and they're moving it along there. Moving it from the Wanthala end to the golf club end of the ground. Railways have an opportunity now. They're keen to get a score on the board late in this quarter. Umpire says the player was caught in possession, so the free kick will go the way of Brigades on half-back. So Pawalski, who has been very good, Pawalski has kicked the goal, and he's also been very good on half-back. So he works hard, pretty fit player. There goes his kick from half-back to centre wing, pack into the air, ball very close to the boundary line, and there'll be a boundary throw-in just in front of the Mitchell and Brown scoreboard, just in front of the windsock, which is a bit tangled up at the moment, but the score for Brigades is a good one. 3 goals, 1-19. They lead Railways 1 goal, 3-9. 23 minutes gone, with thanks to Warren Taylor Holmes.
A big crowd in attendance, as you'd expect this afternoon. Ball coming in now. Players setting themselves, goes to ground, goes away of Railways. They get the better of it, but Hayden Johnson ends up collecting it for the Hawks. He puts it into the middle of the ground, and the whistle does sound. A free kick is going the way of the Hawks player there, and young Sandy. Sandy now kicks to the outer side. He finds Caden Dan. Liked his last couple of games, that's for sure. He's got a goal already in the grand final. He kicks it further afield. He finds a player there in Schofield, and lace out. He sends it forward, and it's marked by Dale Williamson.
Dale Williamson hadn't seen a lot of the ball in this first quarter, but Williamson would be very, very appreciative of getting that first touch and putting a good hand on that one. So now he's shooting on goal. He's deep on the boundary line. He'll kick from about 30 metres out. One of the league's leading goal scorers over many, many years. Dale Williamson sets sail for home. Kick looks pretty good. Bang. His teammates clap, and that's a great way for Brigades to finish the first term. And a great way for Dale Williamson to get his first goal of the afternoon. And on the quarter-time scoreboard, it's Brigades 4 goals, 1. They lead Railways 1-1. So 4-1 plays 1-1, and you're on Radio Mumma, the home of GNFL football.
Comes to buying your next car. Talk to the team at Brennan O'Malley Motors, because they have been serving the Geraldton and Midwest region since 1968 with quality pre-owned cars. They offer excellent aftercare service. Finance can be arranged at competitive rates. So for your next car, see Ron, John or Rachel, the friendly, experienced team at Drennan O'Malley Motors, because they can help you. At Drennan O'Malley Motors, they support the local community as sponsors of local sport, industry and community events. Call into their yard on Chaplin Road to check out their quality vehicles. Drennan O'Malley Motors, DL 5921.
Station sponsor.
We're the Nanners of 2021.
In our community, we see and hear family violence and smashing.
Drugs do not help the situation.
As nanas, we are saddened that our children, grandchildren and great-grandchildren are impacted by violence. Stop the violence. We all need to have respect for each other.
So for more support around family violence, contact Grams on 995 66 555 to try and put an end to the ongoing violence with families.
This message was brought to you by Grams and Radio Mama.
Don't silence the violence.
Hearing is important for our children because without hearing or limited hearing, it can have an impact on their learning and communication. Middle ear disease, also known as otitis media, is the leading cause of hearing loss. With an important message for parents and carers, here's Alan Stanley, Health Promotions Officer from Deadly Ears, Queensland Health's statewide Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander ear health program.
Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander children experience middle ear disease earlier, more frequently, more severely and more persistently than other children. Parents and carers need to know that it's preventable. Ear infections are common with colds and flus. Also, that ear infections can lead to hearing loss. Getting their child's ears checked regularly at the health centre can help prevent it. And biggest thing they need to know is that there may not be any signs or symptoms, which is why we recommend to have your child's ears checked regularly.
Alan Stanley, Health Promotions Officer from Deadly Ears, Queensland Health's statewide Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander ear health program. Remember, middle ear disease can be prevented by ensuring parents and carers take their children for regular hearing checkups with their local healthcare provider. In the meantime, for more information, visit the Australian Government's careforkidsears.health.gov.au. That's careforkidsears.health.gov.au.
A message from the Staying Strong project, funded by the Australian Government Department of Health.
Station sponsor.
Proudly supported by Radio Mama.
Today's Dren O'Malley Motors Game Day is brought to you by our great sponsor GT Russell Chartered Accountants and Business Advisors, helping your business work for you today and tomorrow. Stay tuned to the home of GNFL football, Radio Mama.
Good afternoon, welcome back. It's good to be with you. The 2021 Grand Final GNFL Premiership season on Dren O'Malley Motors Game Day. We're coming live from WA Country Builders Stadium this afternoon with Glenn Bund and Peter Forenza, and a special commentator this afternoon, WA footy legend in Ron Alexander. You're tuned to Radio Mama, Sportshed SHL Radio, and we're the home of GNFL footy, and it is our 60th year in the GNFL, and Brigades are away to a flyer in the Grand Final. With thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton, let's have a quarter-time summary. Brigades 4-1-25, lead Railways 1-3-9, so a 16-point margin in favour of the Hawks. Goal scorers for Brigades, Ben O'Brien has one, Ethan Pawlowski has one, Caden Dan has one, and Dale Williamson has one, while for Railways, Jared Garlett has one. Let's look at some of the better players. Ron, it was a good first quarter, and Brigades got things going pretty well, and it was a really strong performance from the Hawks into the breeze that quarter, Ron.
Well, that's a significant quarter in the sense of the game. We're going with a big lead against a strong breeze like that. And the Brigades, Ben O'Brien was terrific in the forward line. Did a great job in that last kick by Dale Williamson of about 45 metres into the breeze was really the cherry on the cake. That was just great play. And Jaden Schofield's been getting a lot of the ball, and Brigades have been using it so well, where Railways are hoping the wind is going to do it for them by kicking long, and the delivery to the forwards has been absolutely shocking by Railways, so they're going to have to improve their use of the ball. The only one in their forward line that looked like he knew what he was doing was Jared Garlett, who was quite accomplished, but Railways need a big quarter this time.
We're into the second quarter now, and to call all the action, Pete Forenza. We're doing this quarter with thanks to Melissa Price, the member for Durack.
Up at a frenetic pace, and the breeze, the 3-goal breeze at the back of Brigades now. They're straight into attack without a defence. They come through Innes. That is, of course, Railways. He kicks to the outer side, but caught up by Brigades players, and it goes the way now of the big ruckman, and Hayden Johnson tries to get it to a teammate, but is curtailed in his efforts. It goes to the outer side now. The ball's in dispute, and Railways do the better as they come down the wing. Garlett has it now. He's been instrumental early, as Ron Alexander has mentioned. Ron Alexander, of course, Waffle great, BFL great, our special comments person this afternoon. The ball coming in now, going the way of Brigades, and that's Quick, the captain. He sends it inboard, but only cut off by Railways on the half-back line. They send it forward, and Aaron McCartney, he's a workaholic. He goes to ground, grabs the piece of leather, doesn't let it out of his keeping, and the ball is retrieved by the umpire.
First minute of play in this second term. Brigades have the work to do. Railways keen to hold them back. Can Brigades get an even bigger lead by half-time with the breeze at their back in this second term, with thanks to Melissa Price, the member for Durack? But once again, a pack develops, and umpire Cohen has to throw the ball up. Goes the way of a Railways player. Ball spills, ball smothered off the boot. It's very hard to get the ball out. Eventually it does through Kim Schofield, but his kick is cut off by Jesse Adamini for Railways. Adamini kicks it forward, looking for some opportunity. The ball comes back to Mitchell Boyle. He feeds the handball out, but it goes the way now of Railways. Elijah Burrows, who shoots on goal. Ball runs to the wrong side of the post and goes out of bounds, but Railways at least got the ball in their forward 50.
The Blues are 16 points in arrears from quarter time. Had the use of about a 3-goal breeze and didn't really use it in the first term. Expected the breeze to probably do it for them. Brigades, alternatively, worked well against the breeze. The ball being thrown in now in the full forward area for Railways, kicking toward the golf club end. Falls into a pack of players, is slapped away, going the way now of Adamini. They'll need him to spark up this afternoon. Adamini, he sends it inboard and finds a teammate who's equal to the task. I think it's Clough that is marked, and he now will have a shot on goal. So this is possibly, well, it's probably about the third shot on goal that they have had this afternoon, only being successful in one of those. So shooting for goal now is Tom Clough. Been a little bit of a revelation this year since coming into the Blues lineup. Looks pretty good off the boot, but it's going to go across the face of goal. And up they go. Comes off hands, goes to ground. The defence for Brigades working hard, not letting it out of their keeping, but there's Boyle. He's everywhere. Collects it. Goes the way of a teammate there in Cocking, who snaps at goal, as youngsters always do. But alas, it goes across the face of the goal umpire there and through for the minor score. So they've started off pretty desperate to get a score on the board, the Blues there on.
Yes, well, they've used the ball a little bit better into the breeze than they did with it, so that's a good sign.
Snap action scoreboard. Railways are 1-4-10. They trail Brigades 4-1-25 as Railways try to go forward again. They do through Jamie Huggins. Huggins kicks it up towards full forward, looking there for Jesse Moore. In goes the player in Elijah Burrows. He's tackled, and Railways Shaden Edwards tries his luck, throws it on the left boot, shoots on goal, but his kick drops short, and Brigades can regroup, and Brigades grab the ball, kick it out towards the centre of the ground. In goes Matt Kimberley, feeds it back towards the player there, and Tom Clough. Clough for Railways, kicks it up towards half forward. Brigades player flies high. Ball picked up now by Elijah Burrows. He gets it forward. Brigades trying to get things forward, but a Brigades player runs into a Railways player. The Railways player was coming down at the time, and the Railways player may be in a fair bit of bother. He may be knocked out, it would appear.
He's hit the deck for sure.
He is knocked unconscious in that passage. I think he hit the Brigades player's legs. The Brigades player was running through and he was heading his down. The players are waiting for the trainers to get there.
Okay.
So waiting for the trainers to get there.
Glenn, did a card come out there?
No, yeah, must have been. Don't know.
Oh, this.
Yeah, yellow card.
A yellow card, Glenn. Joel Patrick receiving the yellow card. So it must have been a little bit of to-do coming out of defence, and a free kick is going the way now of Ben Saunders, who will shoot on goal. So Ben Saunders coming in from about 25 metres, going across the face of goal, and a Brigades mark in defence. So desperately trying to get a score on the board now, the Blues are, Glenn. And actually they've got a mark, so it actually is a Blues mark, and it has gone the way of Jesse Moore. So Jesse Moore's in a pretty tight angle, but he's going to go probably for a banana kick here, check side kick. I thought it was the Brigades player that brought down the mark, but Jesse Moore was the taller and the stronger. He's kicked a few goals in his time, Jesse Moore. A veteran in the side now. In comes Jesse Moore now. On a pretty tight angle, and it sort of has played havoc with him. It's gone straight across the face of goal and out on the full. So they've had it in their forward 50 for quite a while now, have the Blues, but desperate to score still.
And the Railways player who went down made a remarkable recovery. He seemed to bounce back pretty quickly, so all good there, which is good news for Railways. The ball comes back into play, and Railways are doing well. They're working really hard in this second quarter. Goes away of Matt Kimberley. He goes over the ball, goes by hand to Jager Williams. Williams goes by hand, but the ball's cut off now, and it goes the way of Aaron McCartney for Brigades. Handballs it forward, looking there for a teammate, but in goes Tristan Simpson. He recovers beautifully. Tristan goes by hand to Mitchell Boyle. Mitchell Boyle handballs it across his head, looking for some movement from Bo Simpson. In goes Matt Kimberley, gives it away to Noah Cashard. Cashard goes to the boundary line, and he kicked the ball out of bounds, and
it's deliberate for sure.
And it'll go the way of Caden Dan.
Caden Dan at centre wing on the Floors Road side. They have a bit of momentum now. It's the first time in the quarter after leading by 16 points at quarter time. And that's the Hawks, Brigades. Going down to ground, it's picked up now by the player there in Sandy, getting a few kicks this afternoon. He plays responsibly, back to a teammate inside the centre square, coming across to Aaron McCartney. As McCartney never played in the grand final, Glenn. He's been a good custodian for the Hawks. The grand final, that is, in the GNFL. Of course, he played and led Donga to a grand final in the North Midlands side. Down the throat of Jager Williams, though. Jager Williams for Railways. On a half-back flank, sends it out in front of our broadcast position for Radio Mama. Up they go, fisted away by the player there for Railways, who sends it to ground. Picked up now by Williamson. He gives it away to Schofield, and a beautiful kick by Schofield into the air. Williamson almost took a remarkable mark, but it ricochets off his shoulder and across the boundary. So the game is changed a little bit in its tempo at the moment, Ron.
Yes, they seem to have switched roles, with Brigades kicking it long and indiscriminately, and Railways using the ball a little better.
Kyle Watts is rewarded with a free kick, the veteran full-back for the Blues. Kyle Watts with the free kick now. Send the ball forward. Joel Patrick was sent off with a yellow card, so Brigades will be a man down for 15 minutes. The kick was not a good one from Kyle. Ethan Pawlowski.
Yeah, don't want to give it to this bloke, Glenn. He's without a breeze at his back. He kicked it about 50 metres for his last goal.
He's on a pretty acute angle. The breeze blowing behind him across the ground. Let's see how Ethan goes. He's kicked one this afternoon. Other goal scorers for Brigades include Ben O'Brien, Caden Dan and Dale Williamson. The goal scorer for Railways is Jared Garrett. Ball to come forward from Pawlowski. Can he get his second of the afternoon? And the Hawks fifth. There goes the kick. It falls away. Not a pretty kick. Ball goes up into the air. Brigades fly high. Ball goes over the back. Picked up now by Bo Simpson. Bo Simpson kicks it out along the boundary line. Looking there for some support. Oh, Brigades player is met pretty solidly. And he will get the free kick. And the free kick will go the way of the player there in Sam Millett.
Sam Millett, he's pretty tough, Glenn. He can handle things, sends it forward and straight down the throat of David Little. In fact, it's not David Little, is it? It's
Jamie Ryder.
Jamie Ryder. They look very similar out there on the park. So
both clever players.
They are, and they're pretty good around goals too. So Jamie Ryder, for his first shot on goal this afternoon, will kick from about 35 metres when he gets onto this one. He's on a 45-degree angle from the Floors Road side, kicking with the breeze at his back to the one-thaler end. And he comes now. Jamie Ryder looks pretty good off
Beautiful
the boot.
Kick.
Yes, it is. It's straight through the middle. And Brigades have certainly up the ante somewhat and scored their fifth goal of the afternoon. Brigades go to 5 goals 1, and they lead Railways 1 goal 4. So they seem to be just getting their bearings early in this particular term, Ron. That was a nice goal by Jamie Ryder.
Yes, well, Railways are on top for the most part of that quarter, but then that goal has changed all that.
It was a good goal from Jamie Ryder from 50 metres when he kicked it. So a really strong kick with the breeze blowing across him, but kicking to the end where the breeze is. So a pretty handy score, as Ron mentioned. Took 9 minutes for them to get that goal after Railways had a fair bit of play in their forward line but hadn't really got value for effort. Railways only picked up one behind, probably deserved a few more goals on the board in that 9-minute period. We're into the second term, doing it for Melissa Price, the member for Durack, and a pack develops once again, umpire giving it plenty of opportunity, and the three leading umpires in the GNFL, also picked in the GNFL All-Stars, Robert Bennett, Steve Pratt and Brian Cohen.
Melissa Price probably listening in today, Glenn, in quarantine at the moment.
Yes, it's that time of year, isn't it? Particularly on the East Coast, but some better numbers for New South Wales today, so let's hope that continues. The ball goes the way of the Brigades. They get it up forward, looking up there for some movement from David Little. David Little has the ball very close to the boundary line. Socket forward, there goes him, David Little again. He usually has the ball on a string. He gets a kick away just in the nick of time. Picks out big Dale Williamson. He gets shoved out of it. Ball comes back, goes back to David Little. He'll say, I'll do it myself. David Little shoots on goal with his left boot, but he's offline. And on the scoreboard for snap action, Brigades go to 5 goals, 33. They lead Railways 1 goal, 4-10.
Seems like the Hawks have wrested control back again from the Blues. And as we head to the middle stages of the second term, 5-2 plays 1-4, thanks to Mitchell and Brown. This quarter brought to you by Melissa Price, the member for Durack. Spoke to us earlier this morning. Forenza on Sunday. Make sure we get the jab, all important at the moment. Get that percentage up. The ball on the far side now, coming out from Railways, but bolted up by Brigades on the Falls Road side of the ground. It looks like it's Egan that's trying to get out with the ball, but he's caught in possession. And Brigades red hot on their tackling this afternoon. In fact, he's caught a little bit too high. Pretty lucky there, Egan, as he kicks to the far side, the Falls Road side of the ground, but doesn't meet any intended target and finds the boundary. So desperation really by Railways at the moment, Ron.
Yes, they need to get one back because the game's just starting to slip away, and Brigades have upped the pressure and taken more of a lead now.
12 minutes gone in this second term, so time is on Brigade's side. They need to get the score on the board and continue that, but Railways are doing their best to go forward. They do so through Shaden Edwards. Kicks it up towards half forward, finds Jesse Moore. Jesse Moore is marked 45 metres out, directly in front. Kicking against the breeze, looking for some movement. What can Jesse Moore do? He kicks it in towards the forward pocket, looking there for Mitchell Boyle. He flies high, ball comes to the ground, picked up by the young Railways player, comes back, pack develops, eventually the ball spills out, socked by Mitchell Boyle, and he kicks the ball out of bounds on the full in that attempt, and it'll give Brigades the opportunity to relieve the pressure through Clay Sippler.
Mitchell Boyle playing out of his skin this afternoon, of course winning the JJ Clune medal along with 3 others on Tuesday night here in Geraldton. The ball coming out of defence though now, going the way of Noah Cashard. He sends it further afield, back into the full forward area, and goes through for the minor score. So Railways up against a stiff breeze now. It's only going to strengthen this afternoon. Scoreboard 5-2-1-5 in favour of the Hawks. Of course, the Hawks went first into the grand final, so they are favourites this afternoon. But Railways, well, they certainly want to make this game theirs. The ball's kicked to the outer side now, and it's marked there by Brigades, and that's Patrick who has it. He sends it further afield inboard. Finds a player there in Quick. Of course, the captain, saw him in the back of the paper with Ben Saunders earlier this week, holding the cup, sends it inboard, now finds David Little. Straight down the corridor, looking for the player there in Williamson. It goes over the back of him. That's picked up by the defender. Paletti puts it onto his boot and sends it to the outer side for Railways. So at the moment, Railways holding sway, but just.
Paletti goes for the sanctuary of the boundary line. The umpire gives him the benefit of the doubt. So there'll be a boundary throw-in on that outer side. Very good crowd here in attendance for the 2021 Grand Final in the GNFL's 60th year. Interesting looking at the scoreline though. Brigades have had 7 scoring shots and Railways have had 6. So looking at that, they've both been up forward enough times, but Brigades have been more efficient. As Railways try to get more efficient, as Jesse Adamini kicks it up towards half forward, gives it away of Jesse Moore, who's providing a good focus up forward, gets a short pass forward and finds Jack Cocking. And Jack Cocking, the young man, will shoot on goal.
Maury Drennan rising star, Jack Cocking, Glenn.
Yeah, so Jack Cocking to shoot on goal, and he's marking where he's going to kick from, and the Railways player will go back. Jack Cocking shooting on goal. He's had a very good season, kicked 5 last week in the preliminary final. So Jack Cocking, can he get his first of the afternoon? Jack Cocking sets sail for home, looks pretty good off the boot, And he's got it through.
Good
Jack
goal.
Cocking's got his first of the afternoon. Railways get their second. Railways are 2 goals 5. They trail Brigades 5 goals 2.
Ron Alexander joining us for special comments. Jack Cocking, Ron, is only a 16-year-old and shows a lot of potential.
Well, that was a very good kick into the breeze and a very good result for Railways against the run of the play. They certainly needed that.
They certainly did, and the scoreboard has rolled over 5-2-32. That is Brigades and Railway scoring the second goal, courtesy of Jack Cocking, 2-6-17. So Cocking is the Maury Drennan Rising Star for 2021, and he is a bit of a star, isn't he, Glenn?
He looks like a real prospect, doesn't he? Which is very, very exciting indeed. And he finished that one off beautifully, as Ron mentioned. 16 minutes gone in this second term for Melissa Price, the member for Durack. The umpire puts the ball into the air. This time Nathan Paletti wins it to ground. Goes the way of Jack Deschamps from Brigades. He goes by hand to Kim Schofield, who feeds it out to the speedster in Graham Sandy. Graham Sandy leads the race for the ball, then runs backwards, then he draws a player, then he runs inboard, gives it to Brendan Cockman. Cockman gets a kick away just in the nick of time, and a free kick has been picked out, goes the way of Railways, and Railways have the free kick and they play on quickly. Jesse Adamini's that player, gets it up towards his teammate in Mitchell Boyle. Mitchell Boyle with the ball. Railways are having a very good second quarter in comparison to their first. There goes the kick from the Boyle, gets it the way of Jamie Huggins. Huggins centres it, finds a man all on his own in Drew Tunbridge, and Drew Tunbridge, the centre half-back, finds himself at centre half forward.
He certainly does, and he kicks into space looking for the player there in Garlett. Garlett's got a couple to beat. Over the back line, it's picked up now by the player there in... Oh, a beautiful kick into the full forward area, but it didn't meet the intended target, and marked by, in the last line of defence, by the defender for Brigades. That was Noah Cashard who sent that ball in fact. He's been a good player, a good custodian, also a 16-year-old that's showed a bit of toe, picked in the GNFL All-Stars yesterday morning, so he's got a lot of potential, has a young boy from Dongra. So the ball comes through their field now. And just in front of the dugouts, or further back than that, let's say on the half-forward area now for Railways. The ball is about to be thrown in. As Glenn has indicated, Railways have played better against the breeze in this term than they did with the breeze at their back. It seems, Ron, that the breeze isn't working for either side, really. No, the side kicking against the breeze is using the ball better, which if they'd had that with the breeze, they'd be well in front.
Ball comes forward now from that boundary throw-in, and Brigades do well through Caden Dan. He feeds the handball out. There's not a lot of movement there. The Railways get the free kick. Comes away now Mitchell Boyle. He breaks forward, kicks it up towards full forward. Looking there for a teammate. Brigades players met solidly. Umpire says play on. In goes the trio and Tristan Simpson. Tristan Simpson, big kick for Railways, kicks it up towards full forward, looking up there for some opportunity, comes the way of Elijah Burrows. He screws the ball around the corner, and it goes the way now of another teammate there in Shaden Edwards. Edwards shoots on goal, but he's offline, and Railways peppering away. 2 goals, 7-19. They trail Brigades 5-2-32 on the snap action scoreboard.
The Blues have found their mojo as we head toward the half-time break here at WA Country Builders Stadium, the grand final for season 2021. Brigades 5-2, leads Railways 2-6. Railways up against a stiff breeze in this term, but doing the better, one would think, against it. Coming down in front of our broadcast position, marked by Tunbridge for the Blues. Tunbridge, a cross-medal winner for the Railways club. He'll figure again in that summation again this year, getting it to Cashard. Cashard further afield. He finds a teammate there in Jager Williamson, puts it onto his boot, sends it into the half-forward area, comes off hands and is taken over the boundary. So at the moment, the Brigade side is a little bit under siege, Glenn.
Jesse Castleton coming off for a spell. He was a player who was cleaned up a few moments ago, and he's still feeling his jaw, talking to his physio as he comes off. He's got a bit of a shoulder complaint and a sore neck, so let's hope he's okay, because he's been a great player for the Hawks throughout 2021. Ball comes in from the boundary throw-in, goes the way of Hayden Johnson. He couldn't handle it, but Kim Schofield could. He kicks it forward, but he only picked out Bo Simpson for Railways. Bo Simpson back in the Railways lineup this afternoon. Kicks it forward, looking up there for Ben Saunders. Ball comes to the ground. In goes the young man in Burrows. Umpire says there was a player pushed, and that player was a Brigades player, and the free kick will go the way of Brigades player in David Little goes out wide, looking for some run, and he gets it through Schofield.
Schofield on the far side, the Force Road side of the ground, puts it onto his boot, skillfully into the half-forward area, looking for Williamson. The big fella gets the ball and cleverly pulls it in, goes toward the boundary, but the umpire says, you've taken it over, big fella, and we're about to throw it in. So it hasn't been up in the forward area with a strong breeze at its back for a little while, the ball, and that's the end to which Brigades are kicking in this particular term. Time ticking away.
Joel Patrick will come back on the ground, so now they have 18 players back on the ground again.
So we forgot that they were playing a man short too, Glenn.
Yeah.
The ball coming in now, up they go. Looks like a free kick is going the way of Schofield. A nice little handball. He gets it away to Jordan O'Brien, who shoots on goal. In fact, was it Jordan O'Brien?
Yeah.
It certainly was. Jordan O'Brien, the son of Jason O'Brien, the past president of the Brigades Footy Club, scores a much-needed goal in this term for Brigades, and they certainly hold sway in the grand final, and that was a lovely goal. Beautiful handball by Jaden Schofield, and saw Jordan O'Brien finish that one off, Ron.
Yes, well, Railways have been doing very, very well, but, that lap certainly gives the Brigades the upper hand, and that was an excellent goal.
6-2 plays 2-6 as we head to the half-time break, and as Brigades who hold sway in the 2021 grand final.
Yes, we're into time on in this second term. The Melissa Prize Quarter on Radio Mama, the home of GNFL footy, on Drennan O'Malley Motors Game Day. A special day it is. Grand Final 2021 in the GNFL, celebrating 60 years. Ball comes the way of Mitchell Boyle. Mitchell Boyle for Railways, the JJ Clune medalist, gets it up to his teammate and Jesse Adamini. He feeds a handball out to Jared Garlett. Garlett kicks it up towards full forward, but nobody home for Railways. Brigades, Aaron McCartney's there. He handballs it forward. Goes the way of a player there in Sandy. He gets cleaned up and the ball's still running Brigades' way. Kim Schofield's there.
They're
gets
going to run now.
pass. Gets it away of Caden Dan. Caden Dan kicks it forward, looking for David Little. Ball running free. 50 metres from goal. Railways slap it forward. Railways have the numbers. In goes Matt Kimberley. He's shut down very, very quickly. Umpire Steve Pratt will come in and throw up the ball 50 metres from goal at Brigades Inn, which is the Wamfella Inn.
Talking about a lot of young players here this afternoon, Ron. Jim Sandy, he's only about 16 years of age, and Graham Sandy, and he sent it forward pretty well then under pressure.
Yes, no, that was excellent play.
The ball has gone forward again now, just for Brigades, and it's been bottled up in the pocket. Of course, Jim Sandy was a great player for the Mullawall Football Club, the grandfather of Graham Sandy. We've often seen so much football, haven't we, Glenn, that we call them their dads and their granddads these days.
We do.
The ball coming in now, up they go. Going back to way of Hayden Johnson, the big ruckman for Railways. Good tap ruckman around the ground. He shows it once again. Out of the pack it comes. Is there hands there for Brigades? Noah Cashard playing a great rover this afternoon. Gives it away to Jaden Schofield, who takes no time at all to put it straight onto his boot. In fact, it was Kim Schofield, but unfortunately going through for the minor score. So as we head to the half-time break, the pendulum has swung back in favour of the Hawks.
Snap action scoreboard. Brigades are 6-3-39. They lead Railways 2-6-18. 9 scoring shots to 8, but still quite a good lead to the Hawks. The Hawks have been efficient as Railways get the ball out of defence. Railways have the ball with Jesse Adamini. He goes back across the ground, finds Jared Garlett. Jared Garlett moves on, gets it the way of Mitchell Boyle. Mitchell Boyle on half back. And there's the siren. Half-time in Grand Final 2021. And Brigades lead at this stage at the half-time break. Brigades have done it pretty well. Brigades are 6-3-39. They lead Railways 2-6-18. So a great Grand Final in 2021 in the GNFL. And we're doing it today for Drennan O'Malley Motors Game Day on Radio Mama, the home of GNFL football.
Hi, Melissa Price here, your local
We are David Gray's AgLink, WA's largest independent, locally owned and operated agricultural distribution business, keeping profits in Western Australia. Visit our website at localsupportinglocals.com.au.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Filming Footy. In the last 4 years, Filming Footy has become the single largest provider of vision for grassroots football in Australia.
This game is very important for Trinity Aquinas, Brett. They're sitting 6th with 5 wins and 6 losses.
With an average of 150 matches filmed every weekend, leagues, clubs, players, families and supporters are able to watch local footy, either live or on a replay network.
The North Beach Company sitting on top with 2 clear wins, whereas Fremantle CBC sitting in 5th.
In 2022, it is our aim to have every league across Western Australia filmed and have the match of the round live streamed.
This is marked by Trinity Aquinas, brings the ball to the ground. Umpire's call played on. Chant of handballs, he was impressive.
Player there and Michael Wright. He goes by hand to Harry Taylor. Harry Taylor throws it on his left boot, shoots on goal. And Harry Taylor's got his first in a Northampton jumper. And a good way for the champion to start the game. Harry Taylor.
Filming Footy, live stream and game day recording specialists.
a train tonight. On a train now. On a train now. On a train now. We're on a train now. On a train now. We're on that train now. On a train now. I'm not going insane. On a train now. I'm not just going insane. On a train now.
Today's Brendan O'Malley Motors Game Day is brought to you by our sponsor Melissa Price, your local member for the Seat of Durack. Stay tuned to the home of GNFL football, Radio Mama.
And it's a very good afternoon. Welcome back. Half-time of the football, the 2021 Grand Final, GNFL Premiership season on Brendan O'Malley Motors Game Day, live from WA Country Builders Stadium. And it's been a good start to Brigades, but Railways had a pretty good quarter. They're still in this contest. And at half-time, with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton, Brigades 6-3-39 have lead the margin at the moment. 2 goals, 6-18, a 21-point margin. In earlier games today, with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton and the Colts, a good win to Towns. Towns 5-12-42. to Railways, 2-6-18, and in the reserves a good win to Railways, 11-11, 77 to Northampton, 5-9-39. Goal scorers to half-time. Brigades have shared them around. Ben O'Brien, Ethan Paolski, Caden Dan, Dale Williamson, Jamie Ryder and Jordan O'Brien, one apiece. And for Railways, 2 goals. Jared Garland has 1. Jack Cocking has 1. Well, they call it the Premiership quarter, Ron, and this is going to be a big one, isn't it? The third quarter.
Well, if Railways are going to stay in it, this is the time with the breeze. They need to be 2 or 3 in front if they're going to have any chance whatsoever. And Mitchell Boyle and Jesse Admini have done really well so far, helped a bit by Drew Tunbridge, but they're also going to need a bit from Jared Garlick in this quarter in terms of goal scoring, and they've got him at full forward at the moment. But for Brigades, Mick Quick has done well out of the centre, and Graham Sandy, Jaden Schofield, but Dale Williamson was well held in that quarter. So Railways have got their chance. They need to be 2 or 3 in front.
Call all the action in the second half, Mr. Football Glenn Barnden.
Thank you very much, Peter. Yes, this third term with thanks to Drennan O'Malley Motors, as Mitchell Boyle wins the ball out of the centre for the Blues, kicks it up, looking up there for his teammate Elijah Burrows. Burrows leads the race for the ball, gets an awkward bounce, it comes backwards, goes the way of Brigades' Clay Sippler. Sippler finds himself in trouble, slips over at the crucial stage, ball smothered off the boot there as Isaac Ronan goes in, and Isaac Ronan will see the ball across the boundary line. So a boundary throw in deep in the left forward pocket. 39 plays 18 in favour of the Hawks, and the breeze still very, very strong here at Wonthella Oval, and a good crowd in attendance. It was lovely to see all the young kids out playing junior footy at half time with all their parents and grandparents enjoying. A wonderful sight here on grand final day. We also saw the AFL Cup make another appearance here, and lots of people enjoyed that.
And they didn't like you touching it, Glenn, I believe. You got in trouble, didn't you?
I did again. And the Northampton women were around. Of course, they were the premiers yesterday in the women's competition, so they walked behind the Toyota vehicle that led the parade, and of course Harry Taylor and Craig Harrington were the 2 players, and they were allowed to touch the cup.
They certainly will. The ball coming in now in the half-forward area for Railways. John Alexander may have mentioned on air 3 goals, and Railways certainly are back in the race. There's not much in it here this afternoon. The breeze is certainly a factor, about a 3 to 4 goal breeze favouring the Wonthella end, but neither side has used it when they've had it at their disposal. The ball comes in now in front of a big crowd here. The Hodge Jackson grandstand goes away. Mitchell Boyle straight into his boot into the half-forward area. A mark here would be decisive. Garland tries to run onto it. He wakes under the ball, but unable to curtail or bring it into his keeping when the ball moves through for the minor score. So the first score of the third term is a point, and going away of Railways.
Yes, and it was the AFL Cup we were talking about, not the GNFL Cup. And the AFL Cup will be in Karajini tomorrow. So the AFL Cup getting a good view of Western Australia, which is very good to see. Ball comes back in. Beautiful mark taken by Jaden Schofield. Used all his experience in class to mark that one. Jaden Schofield didn't get paid the mark though. Free kick has been paid to Hayden Johnson, which is always interesting when the ball's 200 metres from goal. At the other end, Hayden Johnson gets the free kick, kicks it up towards half back. Looking there for a movement, gets Caden Dan. Caden Dan handballs it very close to the boundary line. Jamie is there. Jamie Ryder tries to keep the ball in, but it stays out, and there'll be a boundary throw in just up from the Brigades coaches box. Corey Foote would have had a fair bit to say at half time. We know that they need to keep Railways down in this quarter and keep Railways where they are, because Railways can certainly kick goals very, very quickly. They get the ball up their end of the ground with a breeze at their back. Ball comes the way of Jack Deschamps now. Kicks it in towards Dale Williamson. Dale Williamson marks, screws the ball around, kicks it towards full forward, looking up there for Ben O'Brien. In goes Graham Sandy. Can he break a tackle? He can. Shoots on goal, but he's on the wrong side of the post. A minor score results, and Brigades see the scoreboard for Mitchell and Brown tick over to 6 goals, 440. They lead their opponents this afternoon, Railways 2-7-19. On Drennan O'Malley Motors game day, grand final 2021.
And Jack Deschamps is a player we've talked about a lot, especially in recent weeks, but right throughout the season, a player certainly that plays his part in most of the successful sorties forward by Brigades this season. The ball coming down the Floors Road side of the ground now, off the boot of Railways into the half-back line now, goes the way of that player, and we're talking about Kowalski. Good to see him back in the lineup. He certainly figured predominantly in the second semi-final. The ball going forward now for Railways. Elijah Burrows has pulled off the kick, but he still is able to send it forward. Going the way of Adamini, has to evade a couple of players here. Nice little handball. He gets it out to a teammate now, and that player is Shaden Edwards. He goes one way, then the other. Under pressure, he gives it away, but indiscriminately, it goes the way now of Brigades. Off the boot of the Brigades custodian. It comes out to the wing, and Jaden Schofield cleverly knocks it forward in front of his opposite number, puts it onto his boot. But into the breeze, it comes off the side of his boot and out on the full. A bit of pressure there by James Huggins, Glenn. Of course, a veteran now with the Railway side.
So Jesse Adamini to bring the ball back into play. Jamie Huggins trying to get Jaden a little bit upset about that, but I think Jaden took it pretty well. So the ball comes back to be a kick in to play. Mitchell Innes is the player that will kick it in, and Ben O'Brien will stand the mark. So we've wasted 5 minutes of play in this quarter when you think that it's Railways who have the breeze at their back in this quarter. And Railways have added 1 point in this term, and Brigades have added 1 point in this term, so it's the status quo remains. Mitchell Innes brings the ball up towards centre wing. Up goes Jesse Moore. In goes Aaron McCartney. He was tackled, had no option to get rid of the ball, and Jaden Schofield's dislocated his finger, but he's pulled it back in, so he's ready to go again.
As you do.
Yeah, as you have to do. And Brian Cohen will throw the ball up again.
I think Ron Alexander's done that a few times.
Ball goes forward. Railways see it up in their forward line. Goes the way of Shaden Edwards. Picked up now by the young man who gets slung around. He gets his kick forward. Throws away at Stuart Egan. Egan feeds the handball back, but only as far as the Brigades player there in Nathan Svensson. Svensson looking there for Jaden Schofield, but the ball goes out of bounds in front of the Railways coach's box. And Carl Peretina coaching the Blues for the last time in 2021. So he's hoping for a big second half from his side.
The ball about to be thrown in now. Not far from our broadcast position for Radio Mama, the home of GNFL football. Holding up in the breeze. It goes down the way now. A big ruckman for Brigades, who sends it down to Little. Little soccers through. A host of players looking for Jaden Schofield, unable to collect it. The Railways player ducks toward the ball, going to ground. Brigade Railway supporters looking for a free kick, and they get it. It goes the way now of Kimberley to Adamini, onto his boot into the half-forward area. And there's Garlett. He's a bit of a magician, this fellow. He swings around on a 50-cent piece and shoots toward goal. But alas, it misses all and sundry and goes out on the full. So, Ron, what should Railways be doing now, especially in the third term? They trail by some 20-odd points, and they have a breeze at their back.
They need to do what they did in the second quarter. Use the ball, and they're just blazing away. And, 2 points to, 6 minutes in, nearly 7 minutes in is not enough.
Ball comes back into play. Up they go. In goes Bo Simpson. Sees the ball across the line. With Jared Garlett, we know is a very accomplished player. Was on a list Gold Coast for a while and Carlton as well. And in more recent times has been playing reserves footy in the Waffle for the West Coast Eagles. So he's a player with ability. He needs to find some of that today and continue to keep Railways in the contest. Ball comes back into play. Gee, there's not much room there for the ball and the player, and the umpire has no option to come in and throw up the ball again. So there's not much space out there, and the players of both clubs finding it hard to get any space at all. And the score reflects that. Pretty low scoring contest in a very windy day, but a pretty nice conditioned day. Goes the way of Mitchell Boyle. He's steady. Shoots on goal. Good effort from Mitchell Boyle. That was a magnificent goal from the JJ Clune medalist. And Railways get their third of the afternoon. Railways are 3-7. They trail Brigades 6-4, and a beautiful goal there from Mitchell Boyle.
This game's up for grabs now. That's exactly what they needed. And use that ball, get it down quickly, and Railways have got a chance because they've got to be 1 or 2 in front at three-quarter time, otherwise they're in a lot of trouble.
Mitchell Boyle certainly is the player to lead them. He leads by example. He's not the captain this year, but I certainly know that he does lead out there on the park. Played a few games with East Fremantle over the last few years before coming back to the GNFL. Certainly has added spice to Railway since returning, and as Glenn mentioned, one of 4 JJ Clune medalists on Tuesday night, and rightly so, as you saw with that clever passage of play that he finished off with a goal for the Blues. 6-4 plays 3-7. the 2021 Grand Final. The ball going to ground now, right in the middle of WA Country Builders Stadium. Big crowd in attendance. A sun-drenched stadium this afternoon, Glenn, but a hefty breeze favouring the Wanthella end.
It is, but the crowd is in loving the footy. It's good, tight footy. The ball comes out of the centre now. Comes the way of the magician in David Little. He breaks through the pack, screws the ball around the corner, finds Erin McCartney. McCartney on his left boot, goes up ground, looking there for Jamie Ryder. Jamie Ryder gets an awkward bounce, goes back towards Railways, and Railways can clean up through Bo Simpson. Bo Simpson finds Tristan Simpson. Back to Bo Simpson. On centre wing, Simpson takes them on, runs himself forward, then he takes a bounce, runs in towards the centre, puts it on his left boot, kicks it forward, comes the way of Isaac Ronan for Brigades, kicks the ball back up towards centre wing. Brigades player there was interfered with. No, he wasn't. Railways player was interfered with, and the Railways player will get the free kick. And no, the Brigades player, he signalled the wrong way. Jaden Schofield is the player, so Jaden Schofield gets the free kick, brings it in towards the centre, where he finds David Little. Short pass finds Caden Dan. Brigades break across centre wing, up towards half forward. They find Ben O'Brien. Ben O'Brien still 55 metres from goal. Sets sail for home. Looking for Dale Williamson.
Beautiful stuff.
Dale Williamson takes a good strong mark. He used his body, pushed his opponent out of the road, and Dale Williamson has taken a very strong mark.
That kick from Ben O'Brien, Ron Alexander, certainly was meant for Dale Williamson, like a set play once again, wasn't it?
It certainly was, and curled into him, but it did look like a full brother to a push in the back.
The forwards always get looked after. Ron, you did, didn't you? Dale Williamson now shooting on goal against the breeze, and it has dropped while he's having his shot at the golf club end. The goal here will stop. Will stem the flow, but has he snuck it through? No, he hasn't. And,
Gee, I thought he'd had it in the right spot too. It was coming back, but not enough.
The camera angle showed that it saved the post and went through for the minor score. So that would have been a good score for Brigades against the breeze midway through the third term. 41 plays 25.
Ball comes back into play, and Railways breathe a sigh of release. So Mitchell Innes grabs the ball just in front of the scoreboard. 41 plays 25 in favour of the Hawks. Ball goes up towards centre wing. Ball very close to the boundary line, goes out of bounds, and the umpire will throw the ball back in. So the boundary umpires earning their keep this afternoon. Plenty of play on the outer side of the wide expanses, which is WA Country Builders Stadium. So we've got about halfway through this third quarter. The quarter for Drennan O'Malley's, also the premiership quarter. And in this quarter we've seen Brigades add 2 behinds, and Railways have added 1 goal, 1 with the breeze at their back. Still plenty of time left in the quarter as Mitchell Boyle grabs it, kicks it up towards Jared Schofield. Schofield keeps it, Jared Garland I should say, keeps it in. He goes by hand towards Boyle. Boyle kicks it forward again. In goes Jesse Castleton. He couldn't mark. David Little's there to mop up, gives it by hand to a teammate in Mick Quick. Mick Quick kicks it up along the boundary line. Once again, Mitchell Boyle tries to break a tackle, gets rid of it, goes the way now of the young man there in Elijah Burrows, and a pack develops, and umpire Brian Cohen will come in and throw the ball up. As Ben O'Brien comes off for a spell, Jordan O'Brien comes back on.
So O'Brien for O'Brien, and both have figured this afternoon with each scoring a goal for their beloved Brigades. The ball coming in now from the Force Road side of the ground. It's getting a little bit... a bit of a pack developing, but goes away now of Railways. A free kick going the way now of Saunders. He kicks laterally across the front of the forward 50. Picked up by Anamini off the side of his boot. And Anamini scores a much-needed goal for the Blues.
A very important goal, as you said, Ron. Railways well in the contest now.
Yeah, that's a shot in the arm. Hopefully they get a lift. They should get a lift out of that.
So Jesse Adamini.
10 points of difference.
Yes, so Jesse gets his first goal of the afternoon, Jesse Adamini. So on the scoreboard for Mitchell and Brown, it is Brigade. 6-5, 41. Railways 4-7, 31. 11 scoring shots each. So 13. Yeah, 11 scoring shots apiece. So there we have it. So it's a pretty tight contest.
Yes, it is, Glenn, and well, the fingernails ahead at the moment do Brigades have here in the grand final. It's only probably a few moments to go in the third term, but they hold the lead, and will they hold it going into the final term with the stiff breeze at their back? Railways have other ideas as it goes out to Adamini. He's sparked up at the moment. He gives it away to the player there in Klopp, puts it onto his boot into the half-forward area. Mitchell Boyle is running a 100-metre dash here. He's able to meet the bounce as it comes in. He slaps it forward, almost off the side of his boot. He gets it through, but the little general is unlucky on this occasion and only through for the minor score. But you must be inspired, Ron, by the game that Mitchell Ball's playing at the moment.
He's been absolutely influential for Railways. Certainly got one goal. They need another one from him.
14 minutes gone in this third quarter, so probably still 10 minutes to play in this third quarter for Drennan O'Malley Motors, the Premiership quarter, Grand Final Day 2021. Brigades work their way out of trouble with a kick from Cockman, goes the way of O'Brien. Jordan O'Brien with the ball, centre wing. So Brigades are going against a pretty fierce breeze. Got to move the ball up cleverly. Goes the way, David Little flies high, almost one of his spectacular marks. He couldn't bring it down. Ball comes back. In goes David Little, fighting hard again. Picked up now by Jamie Ryder. Smothered off the boot. Goes the way of Drew Tunbridge. Goes the way of Nathan Tubby and Nathan Paletti. His handball goes astray, and Brigades can regroup now through Ben O'Brien.
Ben O'Brien backwards now, goes the way of the defender for Brigades, who sends it forward. In Millett, he gets it out to the wing now, and it's picked up by David Little. David Little could be a game breaker this afternoon, Glenn. He has been on many occasions through his career. Sends it inboard and finds Jordan O'Brien. Jordan O'Brien right in front of our broadcast position in the paint, so to speak, for the grand final. Beautiful set up there, and a nice mark is taken just over the dugout here at WA Country Builders Stadium by Ethan Polsky.
Polsky, a sensational mark, a good strong mark. So Brigades working their way up along the clubroom side of the ground, kicking to the golf club end. Ball drops short. Caden Dan reads it best. Caden Dan, the Brigades goal scorer, grabs it, kicks it towards full forward, where he finds Jamie Ryder. And Jamie Ryder has run with the flowing ball, and Jamie Ryder's taken a very good mark. Deep in the right forward pocket, very difficult kick from there with the breeze. But Jamie Ryder, a noted goal scorer. He's in the side to kick goals, and generally he does. A clever player, as I've said a couple of times this afternoon, but very good around goals, and a good bit of play there from Caden Dan to get the ball forward.
He uses the inside of his boot here, Glenn. He might be in with a chance.
Let's see how he goes. Very difficult shot in the right forward pocket with a right footer. He's only 15 metres out, but on a pretty acute angle. He's a left footer today. There goes his kick. Beautiful goal, and Jamie Ryder gets the 7th goal of the afternoon on the Mitchell & Brown scoreboard. Brigades are 7 goals, 5. Railways are 4 goals, 4.
Ron Alexander joining us for special comments when he was about to take that kick on that occasion. Ron, I said he had to use the inside of his boot. He did, and it paid just desserts, didn't it?
Well, there's a difference, 7-5 to 4-8, and it's that kicking on goal.
Yes.
Kicks like that's an excellent shot from that distance with that breeze.
Jamie Ryder, he's certainly one of the better players for Brigades this afternoon, and along with David Little, they're adding that touch of speed, aren't they?
They're adding that touch of speed, but that's just put a bit of a knife in the heart of Railways, I think.
Jamie Ryder has kicked 2 now, and as Ron said, what a magnificent goal it was. Railways still have got time in this quarter. Still a fair bit of time left in this third quarter. Brigades have it through Aaron McCartney. He tries to knock the ball forward. He does. Still putting pressure on is Railways. Lots of Railways players around the ball. A pack develops. Umpire giving it every opportunity to come out. The ball, that is. It didn't come out, so umpire Stephen Pratt will come in and throw up the ball once again.
Moments left in the third term here in the grand final. Brigades, well, have they rested ascendancy once again, or the pendulum swung in their favour, could we say? The ball going forward now, but Tristan Simpson, the strong defender for Railways, has other ideas. He sends it into the middle of the ground, and there is JJ medalist Nathan Tubby, but he's outpointed on this occasion by the younger Graham Sandy, who sends it straight down the corridor. It's picked up now by Ethan Palsky, puts it onto his boot. Oh, what's he done? He sent it forward to the full forward area, but the breeze held it up even on the bounce there, and it's gone through, or carried through, by the defender for Railways for a point.
So the ball comes back into play. A point there. Good bit of play from Graham Sandy, but Drew Tunbridge quickly gets the ball up the ground, finds Bo Simpson. Bo Simpson takes his second bounce, breaks across the ground, looking for Jager Williams. Williams has to put a handle on it. He's getting a good bit of pressure there from Jack Deschamps. Gets rid of the ball with a handball. Comes the way of Tom Rowe. Tom Rowe looking for some port. Handballs it backwards. Goes the way of Brendan Cockman. He gets it by hand to Isaac Ronan, who gets it up the ground, looking there for Caden Dan, but good bit of play from the defenders there for Railways, slapping the ball towards the boundary line, but a really intense game here, as you'd expect. Grand Final Day 2021 on Radio Mama, the home of GNFL footy, and looking at the scoreboard as we head towards time on in this third quarter, it's Brigades 7-6-48. They lead Railways 4-8-32.
Ball coming in from the broadcast side of the ground, going the way of Brigades now through Aaron McCartney. The veteran sets sail for home. It's a nice kick right into the goal mouth, but right in the goal square, is marked on the last line of defence by Tunbridge. Tunbridge sends it further afield, looking for a teammate who didn't actually mark the ball. There was a bit of green grass in that, I thought. The umpire was unsighted. Railways take the mark. Down the middle of the ground, they find Tristan Simpson. Simpson onto his boot. He kicks to the outer side. They can set something up here, but it doesn't meet the intended target. The defender for Brigades is right on site there. He dives on top of the ball. The ball spills free. Railways have it again through Saunders. The veteran sends it into the full forward area. A beautiful kick, and he finds the youngster in Jack Cocking about 45 to 50 metres out from goal on the Fours Road side of the ground.
Well, Jack Cocking, a very important kick this one. He's been very good throughout the year, very good today. He's kicked one. Can he get his second and keep Railways in touch as we head towards three-quarter time in the big one this afternoon? We all know that Brigades will come home with a breeze, but the breeze won't do it for you. As Railways shoot on goal through Jack Cocking up towards full forward, pack into the air, in goes Shaden Edwards. Edwards is tackled. Umpire said he didn't have any prior opportunity, and umpire will come in and throw the ball up. So the ball's about 15 metres away from goal, and the ball will be thrown up. And the umpire telling players to settle down a little. So he's going to throw the ball up.
Metres from the goal, Glenn.
So you would expect you to try and punch it through. The Railways want to get a goal. They go the way. Railways player put the ball down, but the umpire said no, he didn't. The ball comes the way now of Brigades, and Kim Schofield, he goes by hand.
Beautiful handball.
Finds Jordan O'Brien. O'Brien goes with a short pass, finds Graham Sandy. He overruns the ball. Then he goes back in to retrieve it, but Railways have an opportunity again as they kick the ball forward, and the mark is taken once again by Brigades in defence by Clay Sippler, who takes a very solid mark, and he slows things down in the latter stages of this third term.
Clay Sippler, been a great servant throughout the season, for a couple of seasons for Brigades. Looks like he's a bit ginger there, Glenn, on his foot as he kicks it to the outer side, and the ball finds the boundary. Ron Alexander joining us for special comments here on Radio Mama, the home of GNFL football. Ron, have you been impressed by the pressure both sides are putting on the ball carrier?
Oh, it's hard to get a kick out there, and when you got it, you've got to get rid of it very, very quickly. So they're going to be very, very tight in the last quarter.
The intensity's been very good, Ron, for the whole three quarters to this point, hasn't it?
Yes, and it's going to be needed in the last quarter, and certainly Railways need one or two very quickly now.
Glenn Bundan, Peter Ferenza, and special expert commentator, WA footy legend Ron Alexander joining us in commentary today for Grand Final 2021. Umpire is going to see a blood rule, so a Brigades player coming off with the blood rule, so he'll have to be replaced. So Mick Quick will go back onto the ground.
And the ball has come in, and it's at a free kick there, Glenn?
No, it's going to be thrown up.
Thrown up just outside outside the forward 50 for
so there'll be a throw up.
Railways.
Jack Deschamps is the player, got a blood nose by the look of it, and Mick Quick will get to that position, and the umpire will then throw the ball up. Time ticking by in this third quarter. Drennan O'Malley Motors quarter, 22 minutes gone. Railways desperate for a goal late. Brigades desperate to keep them out. Ball goes forward. Railways have the numbers. Railways player tackled, caught in possession, and the free kick will go the way of Ethan Pawlowski, who's put in another powerful performance this afternoon for the Hawks. Goes with a short pass, looking there for Mick Quick. He's tackled. Umpire says, I'll hold the ball. The ball was held to him, and he'll come in and throw the ball up on centre wing, just in front of the windsock here at WA Country Builders Stadium. The breeze still favouring the Wanthorn end with 3 or 4 goals, you would think, the end to which Railways are kicking in this third term.
48 plays 32 in favour of the Hawks, that is Brigades. Railways are desperate to get a score on the board with the breeze at their back as time ticks away in the third term.
There's a yellow card, another Brigades player.
Second yellow card of the afternoon.
Graham Sandy has been yellow carded, so once again Brigades are going to be penalised. They're going to be a man down for the next 15 minutes.
So a free kick going the way of Railways now, almost at centre wing. They have the ball. They're desperate to get a score on the board, one would think. The game has slowed down as Graham Sandy comes to the interchange area, and the siren sounds to announce that it's three-quarter time in the grand final, and it is Brigade 7-6-48, and they lead Railways 4-8-32. And you're listening to the home of GNFL football. This is the grand final, celebrating 60 years of the GNFL. This is Radio Mama.
In the community.
Hey! Or the ones by your side.
It's finding that hidden passion you know you never had.
Every day you turn up to work with a list of all the things you think you'll be doing.
And every day you know will be completely different.
You do it because it means so much to you.
And because it means so much more to someone else.
Want a job with more? Search Let's Join Forces to learn more about working with the WA Police Force. Authorised by the State Government Perth Station sponsor.
We are David Gray's AgLink, WA's largest independent, locally owned and operated agricultural distribution business, keeping profits in Western Australia. Visit our website at localsupportinglocals.com.au.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Filming Footy. In the last 4 years, Filming Footy has become the single largest provider of vision for grassroots football in Australia.
This game is very important for Trinity Aquinas, Brett. They're sitting 6th with 5 wins and 6 losses.
With an average of 150 matches filmed every weekend, leagues, clubs, players, families and supporters are able to watch local footy, either live or on a replay network.
The North Beach Company sitting on top with 2 clear wins, whereas Fremantle CBC sitting in 5th.
In 2022, it is our aim to have every league across Western Australia filmed and have the match of the round live streamed.
This is marked by Trinity Aquinas, brings the ball to the ground. Umpires call play done. Chan of handballs, he was impressive.
The player there in Michael Wright, he goes by hand to Harry Taylor. Harry Taylor throws it on his left boot, shoots on goal. And Harry Taylor's got his first in a Northampton jumper. And a good way for the champion to start the game. Harry Taylor.
Filming Footy, live stream and game day recording specialists.
On the cover of the Rolling Stone.
Our Drennan O'Malley Motors Game Day is supported by our sponsors, Skeeter's Restaurant and Cafe. Not only the best coffee, the best views and great weekly specials. Skeeter's Restaurant and Cafe on the Marina, Geraldton. Stay tuned to the home of GNFL football, Radio Mama.
And it's a very good afternoon. Welcome back. 3/4 time of the football, 2021 Grand Final, GNFL Premiership season. Doing it today for Drennan O'Malley Motors, live from WA Country Boodles Stadium. Glenn Bunnan, Peter Forenza, and special commentator, WA football icon in Ron Alexander. Ron, it was a very, very good third quarter, and at 3/4 time, it is Brigades 7-6-48, leading Railways 4-8-32. 16 points the margin.
Yeah, it was an arm wrestle then, and Railways just really didn't do enough, and Brigades held them. But, you know, if Railways are going to do something, they need 1 or 2 early ones.
Looking at the goal scorers for Brigades, Jamie Ryder has 2, singles to Ben O'Brien, Ethan Pawlowski, Caden Dan, Dale Williamson and Jordan O'Brien. Railways, Jared Garlett has 1, Jack Cocking has 1, Mitchell Boyle has 1, Jesse Adamini 1. Who are some of the players you think will come into contention for the Jordan Guardian medal?
Well, I think Jesse Adamani's done pretty well, but also Jaden Schofield I thought has been excellent as far as Brigades are concerned. So, and then Mitchell Boyle has done exceptionally well.
We're underway.
Been a pretty tough contest, that's for sure. Dour effort by both sides in this strong breeze and tough conditions, but both teams have been accountable at times. The ball right in front of our broadcast position now, and it's going the way of Garlett. Garlett puts it to ground, is quickly set upon, and the ball will be thrown up once again. So, it's still anyone's game at the moment in the 2021 Grand Final.
Looks like they've moved Garlett into the middle too.
Garlett is there. Can he get the ball moving? Caden Dan trying to get the ball moving for Brigades, and the ball goes the way of Erin McCartney. Brigades, Caden Dan fights back, and it's going to be a tough contest. It's been tight throughout the game. 16 points the margin at quarter time in favour of Brigades. 21 points at half time. 16 points now just after the 3-quarter time break. But it's the same old story, Ron. The players expecting the wind to do it and bombing it forward. It's not going to work, is it?
It's not going to work. You've got to use the ball.
As the Brigades side go forward again. Leading the race for the ball is the defender there for Railways in Drew Tunbridge. He breaks through the tackle, gets the kick forward, up towards half forward. In goes the Brigades player, in goes a Railways player, feeds it back towards a player in Drew Tunbridge. He kicks it up towards half forward. Looking there for some movement, gets it from Mitchell Boyle. He feeds it back towards Drew Tunbridge, back towards the player there in Bo Simpson. Simpson kicks the ball forward, where he finds Jack Cocking.
Beautiful lead,
and
beautiful
Jack
mark.
Cocking is deep in the left forward pocket.
Brigade still a man down. Glenn, remember Jim young Sandy going off just before the 3-quarter time break.
Yeah, Graham Sandy was yellow carded. So Brigades have had 2 yellow cards today. They'll be disappointed with that. Joel Patrick in the first quarter, and then in the third quarter, Graham Sandy. So it puts a lot of pressure playing a man down. So Jack Cocking, who's had a really wonderful season and has an opportunity to kick his second goal of the afternoon and bring Railways back within striking distance. There goes the kick from Cocking. Holds up in the air. Goal umpire signals 1 point only. And on the snap action scoreboard in this final term, Grand Final 2021 in the GNFL as we celebrate 60 years, Railways are 4-9-33. They trail Brigades 7-6-48.
Incidentally, 16 points was the margin at both the quarter-time break and 3-quarter time break in favour of Brigades. Getting the ball coming out of defence, and David Little has really stunned the crowd here at WA Country Builders Stadium by taking a sensational mark on a half-back flank.
He's been looking like he was going to do it all day, and he has. Ball running free. Goes the way of Deschamps. He kicks it forward, looking there for Dale Williamson. He couldn't mark the ball. Caden Dan's there to rove it. Caden Dan throws it on his boot, kicks it high, wide and handsome towards full forward. Ball running free, and Mitchell Innes slaps the ball forward. He was under a fair bit of pressure there from Ben O'Brien. So it's 1 point at each end of the ground so far.
It's interesting, Ron Alexander joining us for special comments. Caden Dan running into an open goal there. If only he could see what we could see. He had a month of Sundays to really get rid of it, didn't he?
Could have taken his time.
The ball on the outer side now as we see a goal opportunity thwarted somewhat for Brigades. It's with Railways once again as they send it into the half-forward area. But as we have mentioned throughout the broadcast, both defences are playing pretty well this afternoon, and is marked on the half-back flank by Millard. He puts it back onto his boot. He sends it to the outer side, the Floors Road side of the ground, where a lot of crowd have gathered this afternoon. A big crowd in attendance, as you'd expect, for the GNFL Grand Final. Both teams, Brigades and Railways, a lot of history between just both sides, in fact, as the ball goes toward the boundary now. Brigades desperate to get it forward, going back the way now of the big player in Hayden Johnson. He sends it into the full forward area. Dale Williamson takes a beautiful one-handed mark. It looked like it hit the deck. Ron Alexander, you saw it. Was it a mark or not?
He dropped it. That ball was on the ground, but he quickly picked it up. And I think the umpire was on the wrong side.
And most of the crowd wasn't. That's the fact.
It was pretty clever.
It was. And Dale Williamson will now have a shot on goal from about 40 metres, Glenn, or closer than that. 35 metres on a reasonable angle. The breeze is right at his back. He's kicking toward the one-teller end.
Dale Williamson gets his second
through for another goal.
And a very important goal it is. 8 goals, 6, 54. And 4 goals, 9-33. So a very important goal early in the quarter, Ron.
That's called experience, because he grabbed it and dropped it on the ground, and quick as a whisk, he picked it up, and the umpire didn't see it. He got up like he owned the whole thing. He did it all been legitimate.
Yeah, Brigades.
And then kicked it straight.
Brigades win this, that'll go down in folklore, that's for sure.
Well, that certainly goes a long way to helping them.
It certainly does. Dale Williamson, if anyone can see them through to a grand final, this big fella can take them through on his big broad shoulders, and he scores the 8th goal of the afternoon for Brigades. 8-6 plays 4-9, and well, is there enough time for the Blues to come back?
Yes, there's 5 minutes gone, with thanks to GT Russell Chartered Accountants in this last quarter. Brigades trying to keep the ball flowing in their direction, but Railways rebound beautifully through Mitchell Boyle. He goes by hand to Nathan Tubby. He goes by hand to Jesse Adamini. By hand, he goes the way of Elijah Burrows, and Burrows sets sail for home, and Elijah's hit the goal post. And that was a little bit unlucky for him. The Railways have been very inefficient around goals when you look at the
it was a
scoreboard.
beautiful tackle put on by the defender, though, then, Ron, wasn't it?
It was. That put the pressure on him and put him off.
4 goals 10 to 8 goals 6. So we've got 14 scoring shots apiece, and yet Brigades still hold a pretty comfortable margin. Tom Clough is there, handballs the ball forward, looking there for Sam Millett to clean the game up and come forward. In goes Ben Saunders. He has the ball held to him. He'll get off the bottom of the pack, so the ball will be thrown up. Umpire Robert Bennett, umpire Brian Cohen, and umpire Stephen Pratt.
Brigades still playing a man down, Glenn.
Yeah, the ball comes forward. They will be for another 10 minutes. Ball comes the way of the Brigades player. He gets a kick forward. Goes the way now of Jamie Ryder. He'll pick it up, uses it well, puts it on his left boot, kicks it the way of the big man and Dale Bones. Dale Bones brought him down beautifully. The umpire saw that, and Kyle Watts will get the free kick on half forward. Kyle Watts will get the free kick, and
Dale Williamson asking the question, Glenn.
As we see David Little will stand the mark on half-back. Kyle Watts goes backwards, finds Bo Simpson, who played a season with Rovers along the way. And he gets a kick forward, goes the way now of Tom Rowe. Thomas Rowe gets his kick forward, but the ball's stolen by Ben O'Brien. Gives it towards the player there in Kim Schofield. Kim Schofield shoots on goal, with Kim is offline, 1 point only. So Brigades are 8 goals 7 on the snap action scoreboard. 8-7, 55. They lead Railways 4-10-34. The margin's still quite a comfortable one for the Brigades side.
Yes, time ticking away. Still a little bit of time for Railways to call themselves back, Ron, but the breeze and the fact that they are behind by some, 15 points, 17 points now will make it a little bit difficult.
Well, they need 4 goals to do that, and they've only kicked 4 goals for the game, so it's looking pretty tough.
Ball to become back into play, and the boundary umpire on the outer side. Good to see a good crowd out there in front of the WA Country Builders sign on the outer side. Lots of people in their cars sitting out the front. There's tents, there's lots of people enjoying the sunshine, although it's a bit cold here in the Graham Podge Jackson's
chill factor. What do the weathermen say?
21 degrees, but it feels like 14. Yeah. The ball comes the way of the player there in Ben O'Brien. Ball comes out. Rose there, the former Mullawar player, tries to slap the ball forward. Whistle on play. Umpires giving it plenty of opportunity. Gee, there hasn't been a lot of opportunity for players to get a free run today. Players of both sides have been very intense. Hard on the ball carrier. It's been a very, very intense game. 8.5 minutes gone in this third quarter. Fourth quarter for GT Russell Chartered Accountants. We're in the final quarter. Who's going to get the score on the board? Railways trying to clean up through Tom Rowe. He handballs it forward. In goes Mick Quick, the captain for Brigades. Can he get a handle on it? He can't. Sees the ball towards the boundary line. The umpire says throw the ball back in once more. So there'll be a boundary throw in about 30 metres around from the right point post at the Wamphella end of the ground, the end of which the breeze is certainly blowing.
Yeah, it has swung to almost direct southerly now, Glenn, favouring the Wamphella end as it comes soaring past our broadcasting position. That's the breeze, and as I said, favouring the Wamphella end. The ball coming in from the Floors Road side of the ground goes to ground. And Kimberley, he's been a great servant again this season for Brigades. Gets it away, I should say Railways, gets it away to Garlett. Garlett sends it to the outer side. A mark to Railways, one would think, at centre wing. Scoreboard reading 8-7, 4-10. They missed a few opportunities, have the Blues. And And it is Jesse Moore coming right down at centre wing. He's certainly would love to see a premiership to add to his 2 that he owns. He's actually played in 7 grand finals then. I think this might be his 8th. But it looks like this one is slipping away for him and Railways as Brigades get the ball again and kick it down the Force Road side. It's picked up by Polsky. Polsky sends it in, going into the vicinity of Williamson. And his opposite number does well to get it over his head. Williamson has to beat 3, 4 in fact, as it goes away now. Tunbridge to a teammate. They get out of danger, but gee, they're under pressure as the forwards now for Brigades start putting on the pressure to the defenders for the Blues. They kick to the outer side, do Railways, but it's Brigades who are locking them in at the moment.
Sam Millett gets a handball away. His teammate gets pushed off the ball as he kicks it towards the centre, but Jager Williams takes a very strong mark. He's been good again this afternoon. Jager Williams, whenever he's had an opportunity, goes out wide, finds a teammate there in Tom Clough. Clough has been good too. He's a good pace, gets a kick forward, up towards half forward, looking there for an opportunity. The ball running free now, and it's picked up now by Railways' Elijah Burrows, who shoots on goal, and the young man is offline, 1 point only. So Railways certainly have had their opportunities. 4-11-35, they trail Brigades 8-7-55, so a 20-point margin, still quite a handy lead for the Hawks as Brigades rebound now, and Jack Deschamps puts the ball down. The umpire lets it go. Goes the way of the player there in Matt Kimberley for the Blues, kicks it up towards full forward. Ball running free, Brigades have it. They get a kick forward, and once again Jack Deschamps gets another opportunity. Tristan Simpson leads the race for the ball, handballs it towards the boundary line. David Little puts him under pressure. Ball comes back towards Rowe, back towards Simpson. Tristan Simpson takes the ball. He's taken the one bounce too many, and now he's caught in possession. And he's caught in possession. The free kick will go the way of the Brigades player.
Yeah, the crowd getting involved here this afternoon as we see Jaden Schofield, I think, maybe, no, it is not Jaden Schofield. In fact, it's, Jaden Schofield, the recipient of a free kick on a half-back flank. Tristan Simpson, the bounce wasn't kind, and he went back to gather the ball and was certainly caught in possession. And, his sortie forward was somewhat thwarted indeed. Going back the way now of Aaron McCartney. Straight down the wing and almost another mark by David Little. He's able to collect the ball though, and the ball's knocked forward by O'Brien, but Little, the bounce isn't kind for Little, and finds the boundary right in front of the dugout for the Railway side here this afternoon. Coach Peretina, is he seeing his possible premiership slipping away with the Blues? The ball thrown in now. Players set themselves. It hits the deck. No one can collect it. Eventually it goes the way of that player, and Kimberley is quickly brought to the deck. And the umpire says no opportunity, and the ball will be thrown up. And the shadows begin to grow here as time ticks away in the final term of the 2021 Grand Final.
And Brigades coach Corey Foote would be very pleased to see he gets a man back on. And Graham Sandy is that player. Graham Sandy now on the track. So Brigades have got a full complement again. Ball goes the way of Ethan Pawlowski, who's tackled. And the umpire said he was tackled, and the ball goes across the boundary line. And the umpire will throw the ball back in. In fact, you'll see the free kick will go the way of the Railway player. Well, he's a bit high. So he must have slid down as the ball goes forward. The ball goes the way of the Railways player who gets the free kick. There goes the kick. Kicks it forward, finds Tom Rowe. Tom Rowe on half back. Tom Rowe with the ball. He's worked hard this afternoon, as have the Railways players, but time perhaps running out now. 13 minutes gone in this last quarter, with thanks to GT Russell Chartered Accountants. Goes the way of the hard-working Ben Saunders. Ben Saunders kicks it forward. In goes Mick Quick. He slaps the ball forward. In goes Mitchell Boyle. He handballs it out towards Nathan Tubby. Nathan Tubby gets caught. Ball spills. Goes the way now of an opportunity for Aaron McCartney. He's got a couple to beat. In goes Jesse Moore. He's fought hard today. Ball comes to a grinding halt, and the ball will be thrown up once again.
Ron, just watching it from your position at the moment, has time got away from Railways?
Yeah, well, there's only about 12 or 13 minutes left, and for them to, they need 4 goals, and you never know what happens in football, but it's not looking good for them.
Yeah, 20 points the difference. 55 plays 35 in favour of Brigades. Railways have a stiff 4-goal breeze, I think, at the moment. Well, that's the way I see it. You can hear it in our commentary coming through our microphones this afternoon, so the breeze certainly has been a factor. Whether teams have used it adequately is another story, though, but it certainly has played its part this afternoon in the grand final. The ball coming out to the player there in Quick, the captain. He'll certainly be happy this afternoon. Gets it out to that player in Pawlowski. Pawlowski puts it onto his boot, sends it into the full forward area, looking for the big fellow in Williamson. He fists it away and has two players to beat, but he finds the sanctuary of the boundary. And the ball will be thrown in the full forward area for Brigades.
15 minutes gone, final quarter, grand final 2021 on GNFL's home of footy, Radio Mama. And the scoreboard reads, Brigades 8-7-55. They lead Railways 4-11-35 as Brigades have an opportunity through Mick Quick. Mick Quick, the captain, gets it up forward, looking up there for the big man in Williamson. Williamson puts a good tackle on the Railways player. The Railways player under pressure got rid of the ball inappropriately, according to the umpire, and Dale Williamson. He's a 50 metres out from goal, right on the boundary line. Dale has kicked 2 goals this afternoon.
He's nailed him from this distance before, Glenn, and I think the breeze might help him a little.
Well, Dale Williamson probably better from a fair way out than he is close. Let's see how he goes. The big man, who's had a good day, but Kyle Watts has also done a pretty good job on him this afternoon, to be fair to say. There goes the kick. It'll fade away to the right-hand side. 1 point only. So another minus score to the score for the Hawks on the snap action scoreboard. Brigades are 8-8-56. They lead Railways 4-11-35.
Alexander, the Guardian medal, is the best of field this afternoon, just with probably less than 10 minutes left in this particular grand final. Who do you think has been your best player on the ground today?
Well, Jaden Schofield's done very well. I think I'll leave it to you because you are the GNFL experts and I'm a newcomer, but Jaden Schofield I think's done particularly well. Mitchell Boyle's been in there. People like Jack Cockin have done okay, but only in and out.
As we see Brigades trying to get a goal, but Railways trying to regroup. They find Mitchell Boyle. He breaks through the centre, takes a beautiful bounce, then he kicks it up towards half forward where he finds Jared Garlett. Garlett can play on now, get a goal on the board for the Blues, and he has. And a good goal it is. Jared Garlett gets his...
It's a point, Glenn. Hit the post.
Oh, hit the post.
Of the post.
Oh, right at the end there. Yep. Right at the end.
It looks beautiful off the boot.
Just shows you what the breeze does.
Yes, that's right.
Just pulled it back.
It was a really good effort from Jared Garlett. It was the best point of the day by a mile.
You called some good ones.
I've called some good points in my life, and that was another good one. The ball looked very good off the boot, but Jared Garlett, a good effort, but he couldn't get it. And as Peter mentioned, the breeze played its part, I'm sure. So let's look at the scoreboard again. 17.5 minutes gone in this final quarter, with thanks to GT Russell Chartered Accountants, Grand Final 2021, the 60th year of GNFL footy, and Brigades seem on target to win another flag. Brigades are 8-8-56. They lead Railways 4-12-36, 16 scoring shots apiece, but the margin still pretty comfortably 20 points in favour of the Hawks.
The ball coming back inside now, going the way of Railways, desperate to get a score on the board, but time is running out for the Blues, and another premiership opportunity slipping away. They went down to Rovers, a gallant effort last year, and again have come through this season with a relatively young side, but maybe their time has just run out for them as they send the ball forward once again, and Garlett has taken another mark. He has certainly been a big in today, Glenn. We didn't think he would add the spice, but he certainly has.
Yeah, he's been very, very valuable. He's a quality player, as we know.
He's in a forward pocket and will shoot from a very tough angle, though.
And he'd be the sort of player that you'd expect to be able to do something as good as this, as Brigades try and get all their players on the ground for a bit of a run, whizzing them through the midfield. As we see Garlett, the shoot on goal, looks pretty good off the boot, but not good enough. 1 point only, so another minus score to Railways on the scoreboard for snap action in the dying stages of Grand Final 2021. Heading towards time on, it's Railways 4-13-37. They trail Brigades 8-8-56 as Brigades to bring the ball back into play.
And your best of field as we look for some of the points for the Guardian medal this afternoon.
Jaden Schofield, I think. He's been a pretty consistent player.
I'll concur with that, so that's our tip.
Ethan Pawlowski would be another player who's been very consistent across the 4 quarters.
Certainly
But I think Jaden Schofield, just the polish of the player, he uses the ball well, and he's been a really good, hard-working player across the 4 quarters. Ball comes the way of Railways. They're trying to get a score on the board late. Ball comes the way of big Hayden Johnson. He handballs it forward, but only goes as far as Paletti. Paletti by hand to Rowe. Rowe by hand to Boyle. Boyle kicks the ball forward, and he's found a Railways player there, Noah Cashard. And Noah has had a marvellous year for the Blues, as have all the young Railways players. But you've got to pay credit to the Brigades youngsters. Graham Sandy's had a good year, so too has Isaac Ronan.
Interesting to note, Glenn, that the young fellas that had such an impact for Railways this year have been shut down today.
Well, it's been that sort of five physical contest. They haven't got any space. Even good senior players have struggled to find space today. And in a game like this, where the clubs have shut each other down pretty well, it's been very, very tough for the smaller bodied players. It's the bigger physical bodied players that have been able to do well. The Mitchell Boyles, the Jesse Adaminis, those type of players are better suited to the toughness footage. Final footy as Nathan Paletti grabs the ball out of that contest, and Nathan Paletti kicks a fine goal, and the big man has showed everyone how to do it, and Nathan Paletti gets his first goal of the afternoon for Railways this afternoon.
Yeah, time ticking away in the 2021 Grand Final. Special comments from, well, we should say footy legend in Ron Alexander. Ron, the final, how'd you see it? I mean, you've seen a bit of football here in the Great Northern Football League, but the standard of footy and the great talent that you're seeing here this afternoon, what have you thought?
Well, it's been a dour game, and the wind hasn't helped that, but both sides have played tight football, and that's reflected on the scoreboard. So it's been an entertaining game, but a really tough game, and the ball's been on the ground a lot of the time, and so, as you mentioned earlier, the bigger bodied players have certainly come to the fore.
But it always concerns me. We play our footy in the spring, of course, when the sea breeze come in, it really impacts on our game as Brigades go forward again through Jack Tashan. Oh, hits it up towards full forward. Ben O'Brien. Ben O'Brien has taken a shrilling mark, and Ben O'Brien has had a really good day out as well. He's had a really good day as Ben. He's kicked one goal, and he has an opportunity to kick a second, and this will be the one which would, you'd say, would put the Hawks beyond doubt if they aren't already. They probably have been since three-quarter time.
So this would be the nail in the coffin, one would think.
Ben O'Brien has a shot on goal. He's 35 metres out when he gets to where he needs to kick the ball.
Doesn't miss too many, Glenn.
So Ben O'Brien kicking to the Wonfella end, and this will be the one that will set the Brigades crowd and supporters alive and get them all pumped up, as we see Corey Foote and Aaron McCartney giving each other a bit of a hug as the ball goes forward, and it's off the side of the boot and out of bounds on the full. So there's still time to play. 56 plays 43.
Not enough time, you'd think, for the Blues.
So we're well and truly into time on now. 22 minutes gone in this last quarter, with thanks to GT Russell Chartered Accounts.
6 plays 43 in favour of the Hawks, Glenn.
So Matt Kimberley with the ball. Matt Kimberley gets the ball forward up towards the centre-half back area. Ball comes forward, beautifully done by that David Little. He flicked the ball forward to Pulaski. He kicks it up towards full forward. Looking there is big Dale Williamson. Dale Williamson gives it back. Brigades player shoots on goal. And that was Jamie Ryder. Jamie Ryder has got a goal. Waiting on the signal. Jamie Ryder has put the game beyond doubt.
And he certainly has put the game beyond doubt now. A check side kick running in under pressure, Ron Alexander, and scored a remarkable goal, a check side kick, and that certainly is a sealer.
I think they'll watch that one a few times, and it certainly was a class goal, and I think Railways are going to struggle now. That's certainly beyond them at this stage.
Jamie Ryder's kicked 3 goals now, so he's been outstanding, really.
He certainly has added that. He's been the conduit this afternoon.
Yeah, he's a very exciting player, but I've loved David Little's game.
Yeah.
To see him throw himself, and the way he knocks the ball on.
Well, I said to Ron earlier in the game, they had the runners, and those two were...
They've moved the ball very quickly, very quickly.
When we considered the game prior to it, we always said, you know, the goal-kicking power of Brigades up forward, and the midfield run has been good. Jack Deschamps has been excellent. So too has the ball. The siren goes the way, and there we have it. Final siren. Yes, Brigades are very happy. Railways naturally disappointed. Full-time score. Brigades 9-8-62. They've defeated Railways 5-13-43. And you're on Radio Mama, the home of GNFL football, Grand Final Day 2021.
Your local federal member for Durack. You can keep up to date with my work across my electorate at my webpage, melissapricemp.com.au. And while you're there, why not subscribe to my Durack e-newsletter? You will also find lots of useful information. You can find my helpful team at my Geraldton office on Foreshore Drive. Happy 60th birthday to the Great Northern Football League.
Authorised by Melissa Price, Liberal Party, Foreshore Drive, Geraldton.
Station sponsor.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Filming Footy. In the last 4 years, Filming Footy has become the single largest provider of vision for grassroots football in Australia.
This game is very important for Trinity Aquinas, Brett. They're sitting 6th with 5 wins and 6 losses.
With an average of 150 matches filmed every weekend, leagues, clubs, players, families and supporters are able to watch local footy, either live or on a replay network.
The North Beach Company sitting on top with 2 clear wins, whereas Fremantle CBC sitting in 5th.
In 2022, it is our aim to have every league across Western Australia filmed and have the match of the round live streamed.
This is marked by Trinity Aquinas, brings the ball to the ground. Umpires call play done. Chandler handballs, he was impressive.
Player there and Michael Wright, he goes by hand to Harry Taylor. Harry Taylor throws it on his left boot, shoots on goal, and Harry Taylor's got his first in a Northampton jumper, and a good way for the champion to start the game. Harry Taylor.
Filming Footy, live stream and game day recording specialists.
You are so beautiful. To me, you are so beautiful. To me, can't you see? You're everything that I'd hope for. You're everything I need. You are so beautiful to me. To me.
Today's Drennan O'Malley Motors Game Day is brought to you by our great sponsors, Warren Taylor Homes. They build you the home that you want with personalised service and a team that is right by your side through the entire process. Bring your home to life with Warren Taylor Homes. Stay tuned to the home of GNFL football, Radio Mama.
And good afternoon. Welcome back to the big one this afternoon, Grand Final Day 2021. The GNFL Premiership season, doing it for Drilling O'Malley Motors Game Day. And we'll be coming live from a very well presented WA Country Builders Stadium this afternoon. Big crowd in attendance, and of course Glenn Bunn and Peter Forenza, and we had a special commentator throughout the day, special expert, footy legend Ron Alexander. We thank Ron for all his work, but Brigades naturally are very happy because Brigades have won another flag. They've been the best side throughout the season. They finished on top, being the top qualifier, and Brigades have run out pretty comfortable winners. 9 goals, 8-62 to Railways. 5 goals, 13-43. So they also had their opportunities, as you can see from the scoring shots. So Brigades have led throughout. They led by 16 points at quarter time, 21 points at half time, 16 points at three-quarter time, and full time a 19-point margin. So a very good performance. Our full-time summaries with thanks to the City of Greater Geelong this afternoon. For Brigades, Jamie Ryder had a really good day. He kicked 3. Dale Williamson had to work hard for his 2, and he had a lot of work and did the hard work this afternoon. Single goals to Ben O'Brien, Ethan Pawlowski, Caden Dan and Jordan O'Brien. For Railways, they had 5 single goal scorers. Jared Garlett kicked the first goal of the day. Jack Cocking, he played well and he got a goal. Mitchell Boyle 1 goal, Jesse Adamini 1 goal, Nathan Paletti 1 goal. Peter, looking at the game, the young Railways players, they certainly came to play. They worked hard, they had their opportunities, the scoring opportunities, 18 scoring shots apiece, but Brigades were more efficient around goal. They had more avenues to goal. The Railways youngsters have had a really good year. Didn't have the same impact they've had in previous games. Neither Noah Cashard or Elijah Burrows or Shaden Edwards or Jack Cocking had the same amount of the ball they have in previous games, and they were well held by Brigades, and the physicality of Brigades troubled those young players a little bit today.
It certainly did, Glenn. They weren't allowed to do what they normally do. The accountability by Brigades was remarkable. The defence for the Hawks held them instead right throughout the game, and it was more of their senior players that were able to play well, and in Brigades there it was the run that, as you mentioned, I think during the last part of the call there, we're talking about the young players in the two boys that held, that carried the ball along most of the time for Brigades were of a senior capability rather than Railways, and they were able to handle the pressure of the grand final. And David Little was one of those, and also one of the other players to do well up there was another one of the younger player or older players as well. They were able to hold on to the ball and were able to deliver it under a lot of pressure.
Looking at the Railways better players, I thought Mitchell Boyle was outstanding. It was clearly their best player today. Jesse Adamini was good. I thought Tom Clough, number 30, he played in the ruck and did a very fine job as well. And I thought Kyle Watts, he worked really hard on Dale Williamson. Dale picked a couple of goals.
I couldn't think of Glenn, it was on the tip of my tongue, was Ryder.
Yeah, Jamie Ryder, who was outstanding. Looking at Brigades better players, there were plenty of them. I thought Jaden Schofield was probably their best, along with Mick Quick when he was on the ground. Jack Deschamps was another good performer. Sam Millett, Clay Sippler were very good. David Little, you just come to footy to watch him.
The mark he took, I think it was in the third turn, Glenn, right in front of you actually. He should have taken a photo, had plenty of time.
That's right.
And he was straight up into the air right in front of the crowd, and that's what you come to the GNFL to watch.
And Jamie Ryder was another one. I think Coach Corey Foot would be disappointed. They had a couple of players that were yellow carded during the day, so it put added pressure on. They had players down for a couple of quarters. He had a player down with a yellow card, Joel Patrick, and later in the game he had Graham Sandy. He'd be disappointed in that. But we're about to hear what the presentations are and who wins the Guardian Medal and the East Fremantle Medal. We're about to see that awarded, and we'll cross to that shortly as James Gardner prepares for the presentation. And now we'll get Robert Bennett, who's going to announce the umpires and who umpired the games this afternoon.
Stephen Pratt.
Steve. Yep. With a B.
Brian Cohen. Lachlan Crawford.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah, we've got a cast of thousands, haven't we? Mark Antonio.
And of course, you can see their legend from the East Fremantle Football Club, Bob Utenbrook, making that presentation, Glenn.
Lovely to see Bob here. Bob's been here for many, many years, and he continues to come back, and he still loves Geraldton and the Midwest and the people he's met over those years. So the umpire is being awarded, and we'll certainly look forward to seeing who the contenders are. We've mentioned the contenders for the Guardian medal, and we'll hear who the Guardian have selected in the not too distant future. Of course,
and Dion Harrison.
Ruben will come forward and make the presentation, I would imagine. So waiting on the umpires, and they all have done a fine job throughout the season. And GNFL umpires, there's still a need for more of them.
I now have to invite Ruben Carter from the Geraldton Guardian to present the Guardian Medal for Best On Ground.
So it'll be interesting to see who Ruben has chosen with a group of others.
Medal goes to David Little.
David Little.
Yeah, he's been a very, very exciting player, and what a player he is. A wonderful player, and he kicked... he didn't kick any goals this afternoon, but he had a very good game, and he's a very exciting player. And as I said, you go to the footy just to watch David play. He's had a lot of success across his career, and of course he's had a lot of success with the Mullawar club where he came from.
I'd like to thank the boys for a good game, good crowd. Well done to the boys. See you all next year.
Great to see. David's coming back, which we were all excited about.
Congratulations, David. I'd like to now invite forward East Fremantle President Mark Stewart to present the East Fremantle Best On Ground.
So just waiting on the East Fremantle medalist now. So Dave Little has won a Guardian medal. He probably has won one before, I would say.
Good afternoon.
He's
What
played a lot of
great day
footy.
Football. Everyone in the community should be very proud of today. Can I ask Ron Alexander, East Fremantle Premiership coach, to come forward and present the East Fremantle best player, number 26 from Brigades, Ethan Pulowski.
Ethan Pulaski, no surprise there. He had a really good final series.
To the Railways boys, commiserations. You're a great side. I'm sure you'll be up here next year and years to come. To our boys, there was a lot more on the line today, just in the game. We fucking played our hearts out, and we're going to enjoy tonight. So well done.
So well done to Brigades and Ethan.
Thanks to East Fremantle for coming up today. It's great to have you both at the JJ and this afternoon. I'd like to now invite Corey Foote, Premiership winning coach, forward to say a few words, and to then announce his players and to present them with the medals will be Craig Harrington, the 2021 Volunteer of the Year.
Can I say anything? Yeah. Firstly, commiserations to Railways. You're a heck of a club. I know that you've had all teams from 14s all the way through in finals. We know you'll be back here, bigger and stronger next year, and we look forward to the challenge. Also, well done to the umpires today, and thank you to the GNFL and the sponsors. It's been a great year. It's great to have a year without COVID, anything like that. And to the club and our boys, you know, we talk about family. We've been through a fairly rough time this year. We stuck together, both on and off the field, and we were rewarded today. So well done to yous.
Yeah, there we have it. Corey Foote, the winning premiership coach, and he's done it pretty well. And it was lovely to hear Corey say those nice words about his club, but just repeat what has happened today. It's been a very good day for the Brigades Footy Club, and nice to Peter to see it shared around yesterday. In the Northampton game, in the women's game, Northampton took the premiership there. Northampton 3-2-20 defeated Chapman Valley 1-3-9, so an 11-point margin there. So Northampton, the women's premiers in 2021. In the youth league, it was Railways 9-6-60 defeated Chapman Valley 2-1-13. So congratulations to the Railways youth team. That's in the women, and today in the men. In the Colts, a very good win to Towns. Towns worked hard, 5-12-42. Defeated Railways 2-6-18. In the reserves, it was a good performance from Railways. Railways 11-11-77. Northampton 5-9-39. And in the big one, as we've just heard, it was a good win to Brigades in the Premiership. For the seniors, the league, Brigades 9-8-62 have defeated Railways 5-13-43, a 19-point margin there in favour of the Hawks. Well, as Corey Foote just said, Peter, it's been a very, very good year. And of course, he thanked the sponsors of the GNFL. We need to thank the sponsors of Radio Mama.
We certainly do. Skeeter's Restaurant, who provided our best on ground each and every week. We thank Colin and the team down there. Best coffee in town, indeed. Warren Taylor Homes. Thank you to Warren, Janine, and the team. They've got a very busy year at the moment and ahead of them, and we thank them for giving up their time and support of the GNFL. Melissa Price, you'll be listening in a bit of quarantine at the moment, and we hope you enjoyed the call this afternoon. Melissa, a great supporter of the GNFL and Radio Mama, and also Grant T. Russell, Chartered Accountants. Grant's been a great supporter of our broadcast for some time, but none other than Ron, John, Rachel, and all of the team at Drennan O'Malley Motors.
And we must thank the team at Radio Mama, Bernie Gorringe and Barry Anderson, who make our job a pleasure each weekend, whether it be Saturday or Sunday, whenever we call the footy. It's been a very, very good year of GNFL footy, and we've seen 4 very good sides in the top 4. We need the 3 sides at the bottom of the fire, outside the 4, to lift their rating and get a little bit more competitive. But the season's been good. The crowds have been excellent. The crowds over the finals have been outstanding. Congratulations to the GNFL for the work they do, but a big congratulations to everyone who makes football happen, including Radio Mama, because we are the home of GNFL footy. Big thank you to you, Peter, for all your work throughout the year. It's been a great year again for Radio Mama and the footy coverage. This has been Glenn Barnden, with thanks to Peter Fiorenza and everyone else involved in footy. Keep enjoying the footy. Look forward to seeing you at the start of season 2022, which won't come around quick enough for many of us. But congratulations to Brigades. They're the premiers of the league in 2021, this very special league. 60 years celebration, and what a year it's been. Congratulations to Corey Foote, Brigades, and a job well done.
Today's Drennan O'Malley Motors Game Day is brought to you by our great sponsors, the City of Greater Geraldton, working with sporting groups and families to make our lifestyle even better. Stay tuned to the home of GNFL football, Radio Mama.
You're listening to Radio Mama in Carnarvon, Mullawar, Mount Magnet, Geraldton, and through Meeka FM in Meekatharra.
We, the Yamatji elders, want you mob to be the happiest and healthiest you mob can be.
A really easy way to stay healthy is to get a regular health checks. A simple way to do this is to go to grants who will help you. So make sure you mob get your health checks so that you can look up.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Filming Footy. In the last 4 years, Filming Footy has become the single largest provider of vision for grassroots football in Australia.
This game is very important for Trinity Aquinas, Brett. They're sitting 6th with 5 wins and 6 losses.
With an average of 150 matches filmed every weekend, leagues, clubs, players, families and supporters are able to watch local footy, either live or on a replay network.
The North Beach Company sitting on top with 2 clear wins, whereas Fremantle CBC sitting in 5th.
In 2022, it is our aim to have every league across Western Australia filmed and have the match of the round live streamed.
This is marked by Trinity Aquinas, brings the ball to the ground. Umpire's call played on. Chan of handballs, he was impressive.
Player there and Michael Wright. He goes by hand to Harry Taylor. Harry Taylor throws it on his left boot, shoots on goal. And Harry Taylor's got his first in a Northampton jumper. And a good way for the champion to start the game. Harry Taylor.
Filming Footy, live stream and game day recording specialists.